Hello, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of Season 6 of the Committee Reads. I am your host, Kaiju X, and today we are going to be reading Match 100, the record holder for the longest match up until 164, and as of recent-ish, 200. So, without any further ado, we will hop right into reading Match 100, Everyone vs. Everyone, by Christian Salibert. Monster Island, home to many of Earth's giant monsters. The South Pacific Isle was no stranger to epic battles between the titanic creatures, but today the island would experience something different, something far greater, a battle beyond the scope of mankind's imagination. The king of the monsters snarled
And
as...
made this.
Oh, go ahead. What was that? Nagoda! Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you say?
Oh, I said, except the man did make this.
Oh, yeah. It clearly took someone's imagination. The king of the
Yep.
monsters snarled as he glared at the beast standing before him. Unlike his other foes, Godzilla was infuriated by the mere fact that this creature existed. He thought he had slain the beast before, but he could plainly tell he had failed. Rearing his head back and roaring furiously, Godzilla let it be known that he wouldn't rest until the hideous monster in front of him was completely eradicated from the earth. The super monster staring back shared Godzilla's hatred. The two had clashed before, yet Godzilla still lived. This enraged Bagon. The fact that there was a beast capable of withstanding his awesome power was an insult to his very being. Bagon flexed his claws and bared his razor-sharp teeth. His powerful tail swung menacingly behind him. This time, he would be sure to reduce Godzilla to a pile of broken, bloody ashes. How can you reduce someone to
This
bloody
time he wouldn't
ashes?
run away, hiding
Yeah,
in the shadows of Gyaos.
yeah, I know, right? Almost instantaneously, the two attacked. Their bodies crashed together with a thunderous noise, their claws and teeth sinking into each other's flesh. Barely even feeling Godzilla's attacks, Bagon slashed... Wait, what?
What?
Oh, never mind. Bagon slashed at his neck with his snout horn, only for the monster king to rear his head back and unleash a point-blank blast of his atomic ray into Bagon's face, scorching his flesh. Bagon staggered back, clutching his head. Godzilla's dorsal fins flashed as he prepared to fire another blast, only for Bagon to spew a burst of his plasma breath, striking Godzilla hard in the chest and knocking him off his feet. Bagon growled angrily and marched forward as his face healed. Oh, healed. Okay, gotcha. Raising his foot, he brought it down on Godzilla's chest, doing his best to crush the mighty monster underfoot. Godzilla grabbed Bagon's foot and struggled to shove it off his chest, but had no such luck. Godzilla groaned as he started to find it hard to breathe and felt his ribs begin to crack. Bagon let loose a sinister cry as he applied even more and more pressure to Godzilla's chest and was rewarded by loud, sickening cracks. Godzilla growled. Enough was enough, bitches. His dorsal fins flashed, followed by his entire body. In a powerful shockwave of nuclear energy, Bagon was blasted off Godzilla and onto his back some distance away. Not necessarily miles away, but could be wrong. Roaring
I mean,
angrily.
he could have went through a mountain. You never know. It just says some distance away.
Yeah! Roaring angrily, Godzilla got to his feet and began making his way towards the downed super monster, his fins flaring with bluish-white energy. But before Godzilla could unleash his wrath upon Bagon, a crimson energy blast struck him from behind, engulfing him in a series of explosions. Godzilla staggered, then turned to see what had dared strike him with such a cheap shot. He was greeted by Gigan landing and letting loose a high-pitched shriek, posing his scythe arms as he struck a battle stance. Godzilla growled angrily. Not Gigan again. He charged up his atomic ray and let it loose, blasting the cyborg square in the chest and knocking him back. Digging his spiked feet into the ground, Gigan attacked again, two small compartments opening in his torso. Before Godzilla could react, two circular discs flew out of the compartments and sped towards him. They sliced into his chest and quickly emerged from his back. Godzilla cried out as they slashed through his flesh, even though he was already healing from the damage they inflicted. Suddenly, they cut him again, this time on each side of his neck, as they returned to whence they came. Bagon got back to his feet.
Decapitating him.
Wait, what?
Decapitating him instantly.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, winner, Gigan.
Yes. Well, you never know. It could have decapitated him, and then his head could have just fell back on him, generating.
Bagon got back to his feet just in time to watch Godzilla crash to the ground, blood spurting from his neck. Bagon and Gigan glared at each other, each monster briefly considering attacking the other, but almost at the same time, they came and agreed upon an even better idea, and returned their attention to the fallen Godzilla, who was just getting back to his feet. Just as he did so, Bagon's tail smashed into his face, sending him staggering towards Gigan. The cyborg lashed out, smacking Godzilla across the face with his right scythe. As Godzilla stumbled back towards Bagon, Gigan fired another blast of his cluster light ray, surrounding the Monster King with explosions. Before he could recover from that, Bagon unleashed a powerful blast of his plasma breath, knocking Godzilla flat. Gigan and Bagon watched with glee as Godzilla writhed about in pain. The two were about to advance when they noticed a bright light in the sky. It quickly came closer and closer, revealing itself to be a large, flaming meteorite. The two evil kaiju watched as it neared the island at an alarming speed. It slammed into a nearby mountain range, completely atomizing it in the explosion
Atomizing.
Atomizing it in the explosion brought about by its crash landing. From amongst the burning debris emerged another monstrosity. Its forked tails swished behind it as it approached the battle scene. Gigan chirped. Wait, what? Yeah, never mind.
What? I just noticed something. He destroyed the mountain range, right?
Yeah.
So did he just make Rodan angry right there because he just broke his home?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, let's keep reading and see what comes of it.
Yep.
Gigan chirped a welcome as he recognized his ally. Bagon did not share the cyborg's enthusiasm for the new arrival. The 6 red eyes of Monster X narrowed in fury as they fell upon Bagon. He may have been sent to assist Gigan against Godzilla, but he had a new objective now. Charging at top speed, Monster X ran at Bagon, leaping into the air and tackling him to the ground. Gigan watched in surprise as Monster X slammed his bony fist against the side of Bagon's head over and 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 over. Anyway, the Grey Dragon tried to unleash his plasma breath into Monster X's face, but the skeletal kaiju grabbed Bagon's mouth and tightly held it shut. Bagon growled angrily. Without his true strength, this beast was a much larger threat than it was before. Rolling onto its side, Bagon managed to throw Monster X off of him and climb back to his feet. But Monster X was up even quicker, firing a flurry of gravity bolts from his eyes. Bagon howled in pain as they exploded against his flesh, energy of his own building up within his jaws. Searing white energy flew from his mouth, slamming the Monster X's torso and sending him skidding back across the ground. Just as Gigan was about to intervene on his skeletal ally's behalf, an atomic ray blasted him in the back, knocking him face first into the dirt. He quickly retreated to his feet and turned to face Godzilla, who was by now almost on top of him. Gigan swung his arm at Godzilla, but the Monster King snatched it before its scythe could slash him. When Gigan brought his other arm forward, Godzilla grabbed that one as well. The two grappled like that for a moment until Gigan activated his buzzsaw and thrust his body forward, letting the blades dig into and shred Godzilla's flesh. Stumbling back.
In his growing area too.
Stump. Wait, what?
And possibly killing his second brain.
Yes. Stumbling back, Godzilla unleashed an atomic blast into Gigan's face, causing the cyborg to shriek as the ray struck him square in the visor. Seconds later, Godzilla's tail swung around and struck Gigan's legs, knocking the bird-like beast to the soil. Gigan raised his head and fired his cluster light ray again, but this time it only succeeded in anchoring Godzilla, who returned fire with another atomic ray to the face. Monster X swung his fist at Bagon's face, only to howl in agony when the ancient beast bit down onto it, his teeth sinking into the armored creature's hand. Monster X kicked hard to Bagon's gut, forcing him to release the Exilian monster's hand and driving him back. Monster X fired another blast of his gravity bolts, searing Bagon's flesh. Just as Bagon was about to retaliate, the ground began to quake. The two evil beasts looked around, trying to find the source of the disturbance, and growled with what had appeared to be an annoyance when they finally did so. Godzilla, however, grunted with approval. The cavalry had arrived. Pass.
And good guy Anguirus, Candleman Gorosaurus, Godzilla Jr., Bagheera, Godzilla Jr.'s best friend, Varan, who never appeared for a long time, Cheater Titanosaurus, and that one monster named Zilla were quickly approaching the two demons. The ground began to buckle and split, revealing Mary Sue Gamera, and that one monster that ate Bagon's heart and remade Bagon, Bagon. Rodan circled the area, letting loose his famous cackle, as they left him behind again while his mountain was destroyed. The residents of Monster Island had been jolted awake by Monster X's explosive landing, especially Rodan, who had got hit by Monster X's meteor and had finally arrived, sensing the threat to their island home.
Wait, hang on a minute. I need to know.
Yeah?
How did they not notice Bagon?
Well, you know how they are. They're lazy. They're sleeping all the time.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
probably somewhere.
I mean, if Anguirus was able to sleep through Iris and Orga, I guess anything's possible.
Yep.
So keep reading.
Anguirus and okay. And Gorosaurus were the first to attack, flinging himself backwards. Anguirus his spiked shell with Bagon's torso, sending the super monster careening to the ground, finally checking that he finally got a hit on Bagon.
Yeah.
Without being countered and brutally murdered.
Yeah.
Gorosaurus reared up on his tail, slamming his feet into Monster X's chest, just like that one match, and sending him crashing onto his back, but not killing him this time.
Yeah.
Anguirus lunged in closer, clamping his jaws down on Bagon's throat. But the great gray dragon was not about to let such an insignificant insect harm him, especially not when one he had so easily killed before. As Anguirus shook his head back and forth, digging his fangs deeper and deeper into his foe's neck, Bagon rose up onto his feet and placed his claws around Anguirus' neck, pulling his jaws off him somehow when he's holding his neck and not his face. Holding onto his neck, Bagon spun around and swung Anguirus through the air, sending him crashing into Gorosaurus and knocking them to the ground. Just as he was about to incinerate the two with his plasma breath, the crimson energy pulses of Gamora's super oscillatory wave slammed into him, driving him back in a burst of sparks. Before Bagon could recover, Gamera had moved in close, slamming his fist into the reptilian demon again and again and again, and again and again. Monster X was back on his feet and prepared to attack, when Titanosaurus tackled him from behind, getting revenge for throwing him into the Absolute Zero cannon while grabbing onto his arms. Zilla ran up, slashing at Monster X with his claws. Unfortunately, the mutant lizard's claws inflicted no damage to Monster X's bony armor, as usual. With a mighty heave, Monster X flipped Titanosaurus over his back and brought him crashing down on top of Zilla, stunning both creatures. Before he could strike them, Rodan slammed into him from behind, knocking him clear over both reptiles and to the ground several feet away. Monster X was quickly back on his feet, his vision zeroing in on Rodan as he took aim, blasting Rodan and sending him spiraling out of the sky. Warily, Godzilla Jr. and Daigoro did their best to look intimidating as they approached Gigan. They're probably doing pretty horrible. The cyborg opened his arms wide for a hug, then clapped them onto their heads, striking them with the flat of his blades while Minya watched on. Yes, I'm dragging Minya into this too. As the two staggered, Gigan fired a burst of his cluster light beam, killing Minya on accident. The ensuing explosions caused Daigoro to leap back in surprise, toppling into his. Okay, that's a error if I've ever seen one.
Toppling
Toppling
into his
onto-
back.
Yes.
That's weird.
Error number 1. Ding. Junior reacted with a blast of his atomic ray, scorching Gigan's chest. The cyborg spun around, thrusting his tail towards the young monster. The claw at the end of Gigan's tail clamped around Junior's neck, just like Destoroyah, and with a tug, Fallen Jr. raised his right side, preparing to bring it down and cleave the reptile in two, when he suddenly found himself lifting into the air. Holding onto his tail, Godzilla pulled him down, slamming Gigan face first into the dirt. Again, he lifted, then smashed Gigan downward, again and again and again and again. On the third time, he swung the cyborg around and sent him crashing into a nearby cliffside that somehow survived Monster X's explosion. Landing. Gigan turned to face the... Wait. I messed up somewhere. Gigan got prepared to strike when a powerful atomic ray pushed him back against the cliff. Looking around, he looked and saw it was Minya who didn't actually die earlier. Godzilla roared angrily at the cyborg, a warning not to harm his son as Minya stood on his head. He turned to make sure Junior wasn't seriously injured. Gamera hit the ground hard, his chest smoking after a rather strong blast from Bagon's plasma breath, no longer having his EX powers because Ultraman's alive again. Zilla leapt up onto the super monster's back, but Bagon easily dislodged the lizard and snatched him in his claws, stealing him away. Slashing the reptile across the face, Bagon sent Zilla crashing to the dirt. His snout bleeding, Zilla pulled back. Varan attacked Bagon next, biting and clawing at him. The assault irritated the dragon more than anything else, yet he responded by swinging around and slamming his tail into Varan's midsection, hurtling into Godzilla's side. Wait, was there a Varan match before the match 100?
Yes, there was. The Mars one.
Oh, okay. I ended off where?
Was it Varan attacked back?
I think where Varan's midsection is where I ended off, right?
I think so.
Okay, sending him hurtling into Godzilla's side, spines first. Godzilla shrieked as he was stabbed. Through his neck by two ninja stars, then knocked to the ground by Varan, and the two reptiles struggled to separate themselves. Bagon moved in next, snarling at the monstrosity that had turned his cousin, not his own body, his cousin's body, into nothing more than a fleshy cocoon. And he also wanted to eat Bagon's heart, that's another reason why.
Yeah.
Unleashing a blast of his fire at Bagon's feet as a distraction, Bagon leapt into the air, ready to tackle Bagon to the ground. Unfortunately, Bagon snatched him and tossed him away, sending him crashing onto his back. Bagon was quickly back on his feet, however, and fired a stronger blast of his heat ray, striking Bagon in the back. The hellacious beast turned to face the subterranean monster, but all he saw was Bagon getting knocked away by Monster X's foot. The alien skeleton, I guess he's just the skeleton now, I guess, turned to face Bagon and charged him again. Bagon turned and swung his tail at Monster X, but the skeleton skillfully caught it and began tugging on it. Bagon growled in annoyance as he tried to pull his tail out of Monster X's grip, but that was not proving to be an easy task. Bagon cried out when gravity bolt after gravity bolt after gravity bolt after gravity bolt exploded across his back. In front of him, Anguirus, Gorosaurus, Bagon, Titanosaurus, and Gamera were regrouping and preparing to make a united strike. Gathering his energy, Bagon's eyes and horns crackled with energy. I guess. Moments later, glowing diamonds rained down from the sky, crashing hard into each kaiju present, and surrounding them with explosions as they were preparing to throw kangaroo-kicking Gorosaurus at. The 5 reptilian beasts in front of Bagon were felled, and Monster X was sent careening onto the dirt, having lost his grip on Bagon's tail. Godzilla and Varan were blasted apart when one of Bagon's projectiles crashed in between them. I keep switching Bagon and Bagon around while I'm reading. That's annoying me now. The Diamond Storm complete, Bagon turned and faced the fallen creatures. He growled, his lips snarling, daring them to continue the fight.
Hang on, I need to point something out real quick. How did Bagon recover from his body being turned into a fleshy cocoon? Like, snarling at the monstrosity that had turned his body to nothing more than a fleshy cocoon. I am impressed Bagon managed to survive that.
He managed to borrow some good guy points from good guy Anguirus to get revived.
Okay.
So he owes Anguirus a favor now.
Right, and I guess those good guy points must have rubbed off on Monster X as well. Last I checked, he was dead. So are half the monsters here.
Yeah, exactly. Either the good guy points rubbed off on Monster X, or maybe he just decided, I'm tired. And then Kamasagami came from hell and said, hey, you want to come to hell with me? And then he's like, sure. And then they both left.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then they went on a quest to go find, what's his name? Orochi. But then Monster X got a call from Gigan telling him, hey, we need to go kill Godzilla. Let's go. Yeah. So Monster X went to Earth and then saw Bagon and was like, oh, it's this guy again. I gotta kill him. There we go. Backstory complete.
Yeah, backstory complete. There we go. This is now canon. 100% canon, BTW.
Yep.
Alright.
Asterisk, 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 asterisk.
Alright.
A few miles away, another battle was taking place. Gamera shrieked as the golden ray of his ancient enemy lanced across his forehead, drawing green blood. Gyaos rasped evilly, happy it had inflicted another wound on the custodian. The two eons-old foes were engaged in a dogfight amongst the clouds over the South Pacific, and had been for some time now. I guess this is the original Gyaos, not all of his descendants, huh?
Perhaps. That'd be interesting, actually. Huh.
Yes. I just noticed something. He used the Mana Blast last in the 56, so there should be a whole lot more Gyaos than in Match 50 than in Fallout.
Oh, yeah. No, he used it in 56.
He used it in 56, so yeah, so there should be a lot more Gyaos in this match than in Fallout.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because
okay. Yeah, absolutely,
I agree. If there was that much Gyaos in 56, then him using mana from the earth, while there is enough, where there's barely enough mana that it spawns so many Gyaos that it's like hundreds upon thousands of them, it should be at least double.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. But that was a Tom match. Who knows?
Yes, no this is a Christian match.
Yeah, no consequences of Mana Blast, people. No consequences.
Yep.
Alright, keep reading.
Each fireball Gamera had launched had missed its mark, because he traded his accuracy to Batra in the previous match. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Gyaos' Sonic Beam, who stole that accuracy from Batra. Luckily, this particular Gyaos did not employ it as frequently as his brother, not being a beam spammer, preferring to rake his talons across Gamera's flesh. And it did so once again, slashing them across Gamera's face as the titanic tortoise was distracted by the pain from the previous sonic blast. Gamera was quick to react, lashing out with his jaws and biting down hard on Gyaos' leg, just above the ankle. Gyaos screamed in pain as Gamera's tusks and fangs pierced its flesh. The bird-like reptile responded with wildly firing beam after beam after beam, trying to force Gamera to release its leg, showing that it is just like its other brethren in beam spamming, as sometimes. Trying to force Gamera to... Yeah, okay. Most of the blast bounced harmlessly off Gamera's shell, but 3 struck his face and neck in rapid succession, causing him to open his mouth, crying out in agony as more of his blood was spilled, as the beam hit him in the mouth, cutting off his tongue. Now free from Gamera's toothy grasp, the shadow of evil swerved away, putting some distance between the two. Gamera quickly built a plasma fireball, which came dangerously close to detonating against Gyaos' chest, but his accuracy really sucked, so it just flew past him and hit the sun. The Crimson Beast dove down, then came up behind Gamera, preparing to fire its sonic beam into the turtle's hind jets. Actually, that would be a really good strategy to knock Gamera out of the sky, actually. But Gamera was ready for the attack, and quickly spun around, spewing another fireball in Gyaos' direction. The evil creature shrieked and moved to avoid the flaming projectile. For the most part, it succeeded, but the edge of its left wing was singed. Gyaos needed to get away from the armored custodian before the next fireball hit home. Gyaos spotted an island not too far away. Turning his back to Gamera, Gyaos made a beeline for the landmass, while also sensing his father from match 56. Gamera called out after his foe and began to give chase, but at its full speed, Gyaos was too fast for only 2 jets. Withdrawing his arms and head into his shell, Gamera began spinning with all 4 jets instead of 5 because his head's there.
Yeah.
Firing and quickly started to close the gap between the two. Gyaos would make it to the island, but it would have no time to hide. As Gyaos, then Gamera, flew past Monster Island's shores, neither of them noticed the water bubbling, something forming underneath. Pass.
Godzilla, Gorosaurus, and Gamera crashed to the ground one by one, each outmatched by Bagon's impressive strength. Monster X leapt in, pummeling Bagon's face with his fists. He grabbed the super monster's nasal horn, pulling Bagon's head down and slamming his spiked elbow into the horn's base. Bagon responded with a blast of plasma to Monster X's gut, knocking him back. As Monster X reeled from the blast, Bagon swung around and slammed his tail into the skeletal kaiju, knocking him to the ground. Godzilla's ray struck...
Knocking him everywhere.
Yeah, knocking him everywhere. Godzilla's ray struck Bagon square in the back, causing the gray beast to turn, screaming in rage. Gamera was suddenly in front of him, stabbing his snout horn into Bagon's gut and pumping him full of his oscillatory wave. Or oscillatory wave, whatever. Bagon growled as the explosive energies were unleashed into his body, but paid them no attention. Grabbing Gamera's crescent head horns, he pulled the dinosaur's horn out of his flesh, then tossed the beast away as if he were nothing but mere garbage. It's disgusting. Gamera rolled back to his feet.
Wait, which horn?
Yeah, right.
Did he take out the crescent horns?
Nasal
Was
horn.
it like his nasal horn? Nasal horn?
Yeah, nasal
Oh, that's
horn.
gonna be bad for Gamera.
Yeah.
How's he gonna shoot his beam now?
Gamera rolled back to his feet and slammed. Like, he kind of forced him out. Like, he didn't rip it off, he just forced him out.
Oh. I thought it was like he ripped it off.
Oh, no. Gamera rolled back onto his feet and slammed his fists together, then charged into battle again. I wanna win!
Yep.
Anguirus howled in pain as Gigan smashed his spiked foot into the quadruped's lower jaw, kicking him aside. Oh! Godzilla Jr. fired his atomic blast, striking Gigan in the chest and startling him more than anything else. Gigan is easily startled by immature atomic rays. Oh.
Yes, and Daigoro's still nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. The cyborg
He got hit by one cluster beam.
Yeah.
They didn't even hit him. They hit in front of him.
Yeah.
So where did he go?
Let's see where Junior's sexual partner is. Anyway, the cyborg took a step towards Godzilla's son, only to have the ground collapse underneath them. Gigan shrieked in surprise as he fell into the ditch, the ground buckling on either side of him. Buckling? Oh, that's interesting. Bagon and Zilla emerged and immediately began clawing and biting at Gigan's face. The cycloptic alien thrust his scythes forward, gashing the two subterranean reptiles in their stomachs. Oh, the two stumbled
Even
away.
though they're beside him and not in front of him.
Oh yeah.
Because he thrust his scythe forward when they're... Yeah,
Yeah.
he thrust it forward. How are you gonna cut them when they're right next to you?
Yeah, I know.
Like unless he's putting his arms to the side while doing that, then maybe.
I think that was supposed to be the idea, but just not accurately described. The two stumbled away as Gigan climbed out of the ditch, ready to slice the pair in two. A moment later, the shriek of Gyaos was heard. The bird-like reptile landed in the middle of the carnage, having spotted it from the air and hoping to lose Gamera within it. Unfortunately, the Guardian knew exactly where his foe was, despite being inside of his shell spinning around. How's the guy notice this stuff?
Because he's a custodian. He's busy trying to figure out where's the next place he has to clean. He keeps track of his trash.
Yeah, that works. Who knows, he could take out Gamera, who was compared to trash.
Yes.
The spinning shell came down and came down and out popped his head and limbs, landing directly in front of Gyaos. The blood-red reptile lashed out with its clawed fingers, trying to scratch Gamera's eyes out, but the turtle batted its wings away. Sorry. Bringing his arm up, Gamera slashed his elbow claw across Gyaos' chest. The evil beast reeled back, shrieking wildly. Just then, its flight was suddenly halted as it smashed into something. Turning around to see what it had struck, Gyaos found itself face to face with Bagon. In a white-hot blast...
And then cried happily that he found his father.
Yeah. No, and then Bagon recruited Gyaos to join his side. Just one, though.
Yes. Yeah, just one. That was called the ancestor of all the other Gyaos.
Yeah. In a white-hot blast, the Shadow Evil was gone. Only its charred wings remained.
I guess he ate him.
Tastes like chicken. Gamma reared his head back in horror. Bagon? Immediately, the shelled reptile belched forth a trio of plasma fireballs.
You know what? I just thought of something.
What?
The Atlanteans, they genetically engineered the Gyaos, right?
Yes.
So they technically could have made the Gyaos taste like chicken.
Yeah, they totally could have. Totally, actually, you're not wrong.
That's probably why Gamera is always biting them.
Delicious. Bagon batted the first two fireballs away with his hands, the third striking him square in the chest. Already his regeneration was healing the damage the flames had done. Gamera's hind legs were gone, replaced by roaring blue flames, sending the turtle rocketing towards the gray dragon. Gamera slammed into Bagon, grabbing and biting him. Bagon reached up, sinking his claws into Gamera's throat. The mighty tortoise gurgled for a moment, then was suddenly back in spinning form. Bagon shrieked as Gamera's shell sliced him.
He's holding his throat, right?
Yeah, sinking his claws into Gamera's throat, the mighty for a moment was then suddenly back in his spinning form. That was... Yeah, it says the mighty tortoise gurgled for a moment, then was suddenly back in spinning form. When did Bagon let go, that friggin' idiot? I guess just the blue flames were coming out. It did not explain that well.
I guess flames came out and the Bagon's like, oh no, fire.
Yeah.
And then let go.
That's my only reasonable explanation. Bagon shrieked as Gamera's shell sliced into him like a circular saw, gashing at his chest open and sending blood everywhere. Yeah, sending it to this email address. Anyway. Gamera flew over Bagon... Oh, what?
But as I just said, yes.
Oh, okay. Gamera flew over Bagon as he crashed to the ground, allowing Godzilla and Gamora a clean shot. Just as Bagon got back to his feet, their respective beam weapons slammed into his open chest. Bagon groaned as they burned into him, then fired his plasma breath again, blasting Gamora off his feet and knocking Godzilla to his knees. Just as Bagon began to grin at his foe's pain, another Gamera's fireballs exploded against his face. Gorosaurus cried out as Monster X's gravity bolt scorched his torso. Anguirus rushed forward, snapping his fangs at the skeleton. Yeah, just the skeleton, not necessarily a skeletal alien, only to receive a
Yep.
kick to the face, knocking him aside. With
You
Monster
know,
X,
Monster X is just a spooky, scary skeleton.
spooky, scary skeleton
Skeleton.
it's sends shivers down your spine. With Monster X distracted, Gorosaurus leaned up onto his tail, smashing his powerful legs into Monster X's chest, sending the exilian creature spinning head over heels. Aw, I think he's romantically into Gorosaurus' sexy legs. He's falling head over heels over it.
Yes, of course. He works out, don't you know?
Yeah.
He had to work out his legs to be able to kangaroo kick.
Yeah. Gorosaurus works out his legs, Monster X works out his body. It's a perfect combination.
Yes.
Titanosaurus moved forward and kicked Monster X in the side. Another leg worker.
Being jealous?
Yeah.
Is he jealous?
Yes. Sending him hurtling through the air once again. But this time, the red-eyed monster rolled as he landed, quickly getting back to his feet and launching a series of golden beams, instantly dropping the aquatic beast. Dropping a sick beat, anyway. Veron leapt onto X's back. You mean that pop star guy? Bat- Battering the alien's head with his claws. As Monster X tried to snatch the Obaki, there he is!
There he is. He's finally here.
Daigoro flew through the air, slamming his fist into Monster X's chest. The skeletal
Wait, it
beast.
wasn't Obaki.
I think it's some kind of Japanese ancient, some kind of Japanese thing. I forget.
Let's see. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm
Trying to see what it is.
trying to remember what the terminology of it is. Also, I think it's spelled with two K's, so I think that's incorrect.
Okay. Well, all I'm getting are just plants. So, yeah.
No, I think it refers to some kind of a Japanese legendary creature. I forget. Or a lizard. I forget. Skeletal Beast crashed to the ground, knocking Varon away, then got back to his feet, glaring at Daigoro. The tubby monster shrunk back as Monster X charged and backhanded him across the face. But X wasn't done yet. Leaping into the air and whipping Daigoro with his tail, knocking him to the dirt. The mere Earth monsters were taken care of. Monster X turned his attention back to Bagon.
So he just knocked Daigoro back out again.
Yeah. Daigoro just came in.
How weak is Daigoro?
He's a kid monster. He's not that strong.
So was Godzilla Jr. And he took on Destoroyah.
True, but remember that Junior is the son of Godzilla. Generally speaking, if you're part Godzilla, you're almost guaranteed to be strong.
Wait, I know the reason. I know the reason.
Why?
It's because Junior grew up with a parent.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Daigoro grew up being raised by humans.
Well, so did Zilla. Look how kick-ass he turned out. No mommy,
Yeah.
only raised by mostly humans, so I guess the human parents of Daigoro just sucked.
Yep. I mean, at least they made him a shower and a toilet, so.
That's true. Better conditioning and all that, so fair enough. The seas just off of Monster Island's shores continued to bubble as a large hulking form raised up from out of the waves. It waved its tendrils in the air and narrowed its dull yellow eyes, making its way onto shore and towards the sound of battle. A second creature rose up out of the water had been watching the previous monster's body from body form. Monster's body form beneath the waves. Interesting, so it must have been created. Ebirah knew it was no match for the being that had just emerged from the water and had wisely decided to stay out of its way. Just as the colossal crustacean began to sink back under the waves, another creature made its presence known. Manda's green eyes fell upon the giant lobster in front of him. Like Ebirah, the massive snake had been disturbed by the large monster's appearance and had emerged to watch it leave. But the sea snake was in no mood to battle now. He hissed at Ebirah, warning him to stay back. Unfortunately for Manda, Ebirah was not a very good listener, and thus begins the subplot
He's
of...
too old to hear anything. He needs his hearing aids.
Yeah. And thus begins the subplot of Ebirah versus Manda inside match 100. The mighty crustacean lunged forward, clamping his right pincer down on Manda's body, just above his arms. Manda grunted in fury, then struck, biting down at Ebirah's head, but the serpent's teeth only harmlessly bounced off of Ebirah's shell, barely even scratching it. A second strike also failed to inflict any real damage, but came dangerously close to Ebirah's eyes, causing the crustacean to release his foe and back away. Angry now, Manda quickly wrapped his coils around Ebirah's body and began to squeeze. The lobster screeched as he felt the pressure start to press down on his body, his shell beginning to crack. Waving his arms wildly but unable to reach the snake, Ebirah dove down beneath the waves. Manda roared in his opponent's face, biting down on the pointy crest jutting from the top of his head. Ebirah was quickly finding it hard to breathe as his shell split more and more. Coming upon a large...
And more.
Yeah, and more. Coming upon a large, jagged rock, Ebirah slammed into it, bashing Manda between the rock and his spiny shell. Manda cried out from the blow, but refused to let go, only tightening his grip on the lobster. Shrieking, Ebirah smashed into the rock again, then again, then again, then again, then again. His flesh gashed open. Manda reluctantly loosened his coils.
Is he fighting both Manda and the Rock now?
I guess so.
I didn't know the Rock was in this match.
Of course, yeah, it's actually Manda versus Ebirah versus the Rock.
Yes.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson, to be specific.
Yes, he's secretly there.
Yeah. His flesh gashed open. Manda reluctantly loosened his coils, released the crustacean from his grasp as he pulled away from the rock. Able to breathe again, Ebirah lashed out, clamping his large pincer down on Manda's tail. The snake hissed in pain, but Ebirah was not done. His other pincer lashed out, closing down on one of Manda's hind legs. The snake decided to return the favor, bringing his head around, sinking his fangs into Ebirah's tail, eliciting a cry of pain from the lobster. Pass. Pass.
Okay. I didn't. You glitched out earlier. I didn't hear it.
Stay blessed.
Okay. Yeah. Asterisk. Bagon swatted Gamera away, sending him careening into Gamera, and knocking both reptile defenders into Godzilla, confusing everyone with so many G's. Monsters starting with G. While Gorosaurus leapt up, planning on smashing his feet into the dragon's face, confusing even more people, with more monsters starting with the letter G. Only to be blasted through the air by his plasma breath. Rodan finally reappeared as he swooped in from behind, cracking his beak against Bagon's skull. He broke his beak. No.
No.
Against Bagon's skull. Well, I guess he has to go to the doctor now to get his beak repaired. But a flick from the dragon's powerful tail sent the mutant pteranodon crashing into the soil. Godzilla moved in, firing his ray directly into Bagon's face as he closed in. But the evil creature braced himself through the pain and lunged forward, hitting down onto Godzilla's snout, cutting off his ray and drawing blood. Releasing his bite, Bagon let Godzilla back away and kicked him in the gut, causing the Monster King to topple onto his back. Bagon charged his plasma breath and prepared to fire upon the fallen Godzilla, when he suddenly sensed something new and looked up to see what it was. It was then that the less heroic denizens of Monster Island made their presence known. Rising up out of the jungle, Kumanga chittered, going choo-choo while flexing his mandibles. Kamakura zoomed in and landed on atop a nearby mountain that somehow reformed during the battle, while Kumanga quickly shot him with a poison stinger and ate him, twitching his head. Gamera reared his arms back, cackling as he let his electrical power surge through him while he electrocuted Minya, who somehow ended up watching from the sidelines. Goliath was next, swinging his massive, gorilla-like arms around, preparing to strike someone with them as he hit Minya in the face and electrocuted him. And lastly, running headfirst into the battle, was Red King, shrieking his arrival to the monsters that gathered before him while his wife cheered from the sidelines. Unlike the other Monster Island residents, these beasts were not here to stop Bagon's evil, or to defend their island home. They weren't even here to help topple Godzilla from his throne. They just wanted to fight, to prove their dominance over the rest of the monsters, and maybe even make a meal out of their corpses. Wait, did Gyra pop up yet?
No Gyra.
Okay. As one, they attacked Minya and killed him, brutally beat him up while everyone watched them. Gamera advanced on Godzilla Jr. while holding Minya in his other hand, his horn crackling with energy. The son of Godzilla reared back, roaring at the ogre to release his brother. But Gamera paid no attention, slamming his electrically charged fist into Junior's face while he slowly electrocuted Minya. Junior's stubby dorsal fins flashed, signaling the arrival of his atomic ray, while Gamera quickly moved behind the young monster, grabbing his tail and unleashing hundreds of thousands of volts of electricity into him. Junior screeched as the bolts of energy arced over and through his flesh, just as he and his brother Minya suffered together. Kumanga began to spew his silken web at Anguirus and Gorosaurus, covering the two with sticky threads, as Anguirus remembered the last time he fought Kumanga and remembered the nasty taste he left in his mouth. Anguirus managed to escape the webbing, being smart this time, and Kumanga focused his efforts on blanketing Gorosaurus entirely. Unfortunately, with his attention now on the oversized Allosaurus, even though he has a name called Gorosaurus, the giant spider didn't see Anguirus coming up from behind, crunching his jaws down on one of Kumanga's hind legs, just like last time. The arachnid shrieked and stopped spraying his web, trying to get Anguirus to release his limb. Kamakurus landed on Bagon's back and began slamming his sickle-like claws down onto the subterranean reptile. After a few moments of trying to shake the mantis free, Bagon threw himself backwards, smashing Kamakurus between the ground and his rigid neck, before he cooked him alive and ate him. Getting back to his feet, Bagon turned and prepared to assault the mantis with his heat ray and eat him, only to have Kamakurus' claw smack him across the face. Spotting Daigoro, Goliath charged forward, his horn crackling with electricity as he just wanted to go bully that one who always likes to bully. Suddenly, he found his path blocked by Varan and Zilla, who stood up for their young quote-unquote friend. For that. The hulking blue beast narrowed his eyes at two, and unleashed a storm of lightning from his horn, stunning the two reptiles. As everyone knows, reptiles are always weak against lightning for some. Advancing once, even though Zilla's the ground type, he's still getting hurt by the lightning. Advancing once again, Goliath plowed his powerful fist into the two, and Zilla out of the way as he advanced on Daigoro. The younger monster charged, only to have got him away with ease. Red King pounced at Titanosaurus, his fist into the dinosaur's chest, over and over and over and over and over and over. Titanosaurus cackled and was playing the piano and reached out. Red King's there. The bumpy reptile responded in kind. Only once he got a decent grip around Titanosaurus's lengthy neck, he pulled the aquatic monster to the ground. Once Titanosaurus was down, Red King began kicking him hard in the groin and landed onto his chest, raining his fist down on Titanosaurus' face. Out of the corner of his eye, Red King spotted Bagon. White. That greenish creature, even though he's tan beige colored, knew that if he was to be fared above all others, then it was this gray dragon before him that he would have to slay. Climbing off of Titanosaurus and giving him one last kick to the groin for good measure, Red King turned to face Bagon and screeched into the air, beating his chest with his fist, trying to steal King Kong's move since he's currently dead, I guess. Again. King sped towards the evil creature, and in an instant he was upon him. Bagon hadn't even noticed Red King's say, and the bumpy began smashing his fist into him. Roaring angrily, Bagon turned and stared at Red King directly in the eyes, watching as he battered his fist against him without not being his birthday present. For a moment, the reptile faltered, doubting his decision. But as soon as it came, the doubt was gone, because he's stupid.
Are you there? I can't hear you. Hello? Okay, I cannot hear you. Hang on a second. Okay, there you are. There. Oh crap, where did you...
You're kind of moving out.
You there?
Really bad.
You there? Ah, crap. Hang on a second.
I can hear you now. You were glitching out pretty badly.
Alright, where the heck? Bees just...
What?
Let's just start over from Red King sped towards the evil creature. Red King sped towards the evil creature.
Okay. Red King sped towards the evil creature, and in an instant, he was upon him. Bagon hadn't even noticed the annoying, slightly odd, what's it called, invisible to his eyes, Red King play until the bumpy beast began smashing his fist against him like a baby, or a child throwing a tantrum, not getting his presents on his birthday.
Yeah.
Roaring angrily, Bagon turned and stared Red King directly in the eyes. For a moment, the pal faltered, doubting his decision. But as soon as it came, the doubt was gone because he's stupid, and he reached Bagon's horn. He began to pull up and started kicking Bagon in the teeth. Unfortunately, until other plans, he his head upwards. Bagon sent Red King flying clear over him, striking the ground with a thunderous crash as the dead Gyaos laughed at him. Bagon turned to face his would-be destroyer, who was struggling to regain his non-existent wits and get back to his feet. Smoke began to come from Junior's and Minya's skin as it was sizzled by Gamera's electrical power. Then, an atomic ray blasted the ogre square in the chest, sending him flying away, bashing his head on the rock as the rock bottomed. Junior collapsed to the ground. We heard from the electrical assault while Minya twitched in a coma. Godzilla stepped forward, placing his hand on Junior's head, telling him it was alright before turning to Minya and slapping him in the face, trying to wake him up. Glaring angrily at the green, bumpy creature, Godzilla opened his jaws again, nailing Gamera with another atomic blast. Kamacuras flew by, slashing Godzilla's shoulder with his claws, channeling his inner Mary suit. Blood spurted from his shoulder, as Godzilla staggered, roaring furiously. He fired an atomic ray at the mantis, but he easily avoided the beam thanks to his supersonic speed that a lot of other flying kaiju share with him. Bagon growled, preparing to vaporize Red King's skull with a plasma blast before realizing he was really stupid. Suddenly, the creature was back on his feet, slamming his fist into Bagon's armored chest like the child again. The dragon almost laughed at Red King's attempts to harm him. When Red King pulled his hand back, Bagon expected another pathetic tantrum-like punch. The mighty monster was taken by surprise when flames erupted from Red King's fist, and he slammed it into Bagon's torso. The super monster staggered back, his chest smoking. Hey, this is a PG podcast, no smoking allowed bag.
There's a no smoke zone outside the waters of Monster Island. You cannot smoke inside Monster Island. Thank you very much. You there?
Bang King Ghidorah's not here. He and
Oh.
a lot of other monsters are just outside Earth right now, just in the smoking zone.
Yeah, in the legal smoking zone.
The blow was nowhere near sufficient to destroy the mighty Bagon, but it was a far more powerful move.
Oh boy, hang on. Let me take over from here. It was far more. Okay, pass. Okay, you were gonna pass anyway. All right.
Okay. Yeah, pass.
Before Red King could press his
Where's my
advantage,
torch?
a purple energy beam struck him in the back, causing him to falter. Bagon quickly spun around and slammed his tail to Red King's side, sending him hurtling through the air. With that foe taken care of for the moment, Bagon turned to face the source of the purple blast. The aggregate form of Destoroyah, this one a mere head shorter than Bagon, flailed its tendrils around, screaming for Bagon's destruction. The tank-like beast charged
Because he
toward...
finally got out of Mogera.
Yeah. This is the one that from freaking match. What was it? 38, I think. Oh gosh.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
He finally escaped the Mogera. That's
Yeah.
why he's here.
Yeah. Congratulations to you, buddy, for getting out. The tank-like beast charged forward and began smacking Bagon around with its spiked limbs. From its jaws came a blast of micro-oxygen, burning into Bagon's chest. Bagon responded in kind, using his plasma breath to blast off Destoroyah's tendrils one after the other. Shrieking in pain, the aggregate creature responded by lunging forward and unleashing its inner jaws, sinking them deep into Bagon's chest. Within seconds, Destoroyah was pumping the super monster full of micro-oxygen. Unlike before, Bagon felt true pain this time. Reaching up, he snatched Destoroyah's inner mouth and with his claws and crushed it in his grasp. Before the crustacean-like beast could respond, Bagon tugged hard and ripped it out completely, spilling yellow blood from Destoroyah's mouth. Destoroyah's cry of agony was gurgled, but still tried to fight back, snapping at Bagon with its crab-like claws. Bagon returned to fire with another plasma blast, sending the aggregate skidding back a good distance away. The micro beast narrowed its eyes at Bagon, planning its next move. Unfortunately, Destoroyah never got the chance. A blinding light in the sky distracted every monster momentarily. It quickly became apparent that it was another meteor, though this one was not as large as the one Monster X had arrived in. Within seconds, it smashed down into the soil of Monster Island, exploding violently. Destoroyah was pulverized underneath it. Seconds after the meteor hit, the ground began to shake. Crystals of all shape and size burst from the ground, crackling with lightning. A massive shape emerged from the smoke, unleashing its unearthly cry, letting every creature present know that their time had come. SpaceGodzilla had arrived. The Crystallian Terror immediately zeroed in on one of the more powerful kaiju present and opened fire with his Corona Beam. The orange bolt circled around the area, striking Bagon, Godzilla, Bagon, Monster X, Gamera, and Gamora. The creature cried out as Space Godzilla's blast tore into them. Another blast struck Gigan, Anguirus, Gorosaurus, Goliath, Red King, Minya, and the other Minya. Energy pour.
Hello.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
I have arrived. You have. You're lucky to have been blessed by me.
Yes. Oh boy. Hang on a second. Just let me read through this real quick, good man, and we'll see why I could pass to you.
Oh, did you? I saw it. It's beautiful. Did you guys come? Did you guys bitch about the fact that it somehow is a continuation of the Bagon trilogy?
We've actually noticed that. We haven't quite talked about that yet, but I kind of figured we would save that for the end of the actual reading. So,
Oh, damn it.
but yeah, just let me continue. Energy.
Okay, where are you at?
Yeah. Energy poured from the crystals in the ground as those on Space Godzilla's shoulders, giving the alien beasts even greater strength. Pulling himself
All
up.
right.
Yeah, it's a bit ways in, so pulling himself up from the ground, Space Godzilla hovered towards his earthen counterpart. Godzilla opened fire with his radioactive blast, but Space Godzilla's crystalline shield instantly appeared, reflecting it back at the king of the monsters. As Godzilla reeled back from his own weapon, Space Godzilla got too close, smashing one of his shoulder crystals into Godzilla's face, knocking him flat to the ground. Gamera and Gamora stepped up, ready to fire their own projectiles at the space monster, but Space Godzilla unleashed another Corona Beam, blasting the two right in their faces. The two clutched their burning eyes as Space Godzilla plowed through them, knocking them onto their backs.
Don't you mean plowed them?
Landing back near his crystals and absorbing more of their energy, Space Godzilla wailed at Bagon, challenging the great beast to combat. Bagon flexed his claws and eagerly accepted, charging
And then
forward.
Space Godzilla left because of jealousy.
Yeah, well now he came back, so Space Godzilla unleashed a Corona Beam at the Grey Beast, but Bagon advanced regardless, charging up a plasma.
Yeah.
Charging up a plasma blast once he was close enough. Once he was close enough, he fired it, blasting Space Godzilla between his neck and left shoulder crystal. With the space monster distracted, Bagon's claws raked Space Godzilla's flesh, who responded in kind, zapping Bagon with alien energy. The two traded blows for a moment until the nearby ground exploded, taking several of Space Godzilla's crystals with it. The final form of Destoroyah howled in the sky. Joe, you can take over for a bit.
All right. How many am I reading?
Just keep reading until you feel like stopping. Though we do have an end point. I have it posted in the chat. So
All right.
we're almost there, though. We are almost done. So
Okay. Bagon shoved Space Godzilla away, then turned to face the ultimate form of the living oxygen destroyer. The monstrous entity flapped his wings and took to the air, speeding directly towards Bagon. Planting his enormous legs in... Hey, they're not enormous, they're thick.
bulky, not fat.
Hey, thick thighs save lives. Planting his thick legs into Bagon's face, Destoroyah floored the super monster, then moved on towards Space Godzilla. In a blinding flash of light, Space Godzilla encased himself in a crystalline cocoon and took to the air, narrowly avoiding Destoroyah's flying tackle. Well, I guess Destoroyah used fly and tackle. Destoroyah began to turn and face Space Godzilla, but the alien creature immediately opened fire with his Corona Beam, scorching Destroyer's back and wings. The jagged bolt tore a hole in Destroyer's right wing, forcing the massive beast to land. Yeah. As he did so, Godzilla's atomic ray blasted him, exploding his face and neck. Destoroyah shrieked and returned fire with his micro-oxygen beam, the blast knocking Godzilla off his feet. Gamera flew in to attack next, but another blast took him down as well. Gamera ran in, but Destoroyah swung around and lashed out with his tail, the claw at the end clamping around Gamora's neck. And then Manila came in and killed Destoroyah.
Well, despite the fact that Manila's still in a coma, though, at this point.
Wait,
Nagoto's been adding Manila into the part, and so last we saw Manila, he was in a coma. So now he's
Being smacked around by Godzilla's tail.
Yeah. I guess he must have finally woken up from a coma.
He's sleep fighting now, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Gamera tugged at the tail, but had time to pull it off before Destoroyah swung around, sending the underground dinosaur crashing to the soil. Gigan eagerly moved in, ready to attack the downed beast, but Gamera rolled onto his back and unleashed his Mary Sue wave, blasting the cyborg in the face and knocking him back. Anguirus moved in and reared up onto his hind legs, but an almost lazy swing from Destoroyah's arm sent the quadruped reeling back. Roaring a challenge, Useless Zilla moved in to attack, finding his jaws and holding his arms wide open, wanting to give Destoroyah a hug. Destoroyah laughed at the mutant lizard's effort. Did he not read A Morning to Remember? and sent a micro-oxygen beam into him, slamming him up against the cliffside, killing him.
Yes, finally.
Winner, me and Alex. Crippled by the blast, Zilla collapsed. Good. Baron flew
and then everyone came over and started blasting Zilla with all their beams. And
they kicked him in the shin, Godzilla. Baron flew in next, but Destoroyah smacked the Triphibian in the head, sending him spiraling into the sky and crashing to Anguirus. In another flash of light, SpaceGodzilla returned to his landform and once again opened fire with his Corona Beam, blasting Destoroyah. The Precambrian beast turned to face his attacker, unleashing a micro-oxygen blast at him. The purple ray struck SpaceGodzilla square in the chest, eliciting a cry of pain. Oh, eliciting. I'm going with eliciting. A cry of pain from the intergalactic Godzilla. Bagon was about to move in when Monster X leapt onto him from behind, slamming his fist into Bagon's back and neck. Bagon growled, "Had this beast had enough?" Find out next time on the first KWC XXX, Bagon vs. Monster X Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Gathering his power, Bagon summoned forth another Diamond Storm, the falling projectile striking Monster X, SpaceGodzilla, Destoroyah, and Manila. The skeletal kaiju fell.
While Manila was being electrocuted by all the kaiju can shoot electricity.
Skeletal kaiju fell from Bagon's back. Don't you mean backside? And the other two staggered as they were hit. Forgetting their battle, the two turned to face Bagon, their energy weapons building in their mouths. Destructive power exploded all around three monstrosities as gold, blue, and purple energy beams that rained down. Hey, there's no black beams? That's racist.
I mean, there's invisible beams apparently, but no black
Yes.
beams.
Yeah.
Or is it just that? Is it just that the beams are being racist now?
Either way, tisk fucking tisk, Christian.
Yes.
Hitting them hard. Godzilla looked up to the source of the blast, instantly spotting what had fired them. Mothra, Batra, and Rainbow Mothra swooped down, joining the fight. Wait, Rainbow Mothra?
Yeah,
What?
Rainbow
Are they
Mothra.
are they shooting? Are they shooting Manila too?
Yes. One
They better be
could
shooting
hope.
Manila. He's the greatest of all evils, don't you know?
Don't you mean he's the most powerful of all evils?
Yes, he is.
Again, the Motley trio opened fire with their powerful rays, striking Bagan, then Space Godzilla, then Destoroyah, then Monster X, then Manila.
Then Manila again.
And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
And again, and again.
The evil entities cried out as the powerful energies blasted them, engulfing them in smoke and flame. Gigan swung his scythes around and rushed forward, ready to tear into the insects. Instead was blasted to the ground by their combined firepower. The other monsters joined in: Godzilla, Gamera, Gamora, Rodan, Bagon, Jr., Daigoro, Manila, Orga.
Especially Orga.
All firing their blast. Rainbow Mothra reared back, firing a massive blue beam from his abdomen. When the smoke cleared, Monster X was laying unconscious on the ground. Gigan was in a similar position, except one of his wings had almost been burned all the way off. A good deal of Bagan's skin was gone, and his eyes had been cooked away. SpaceGodzilla's left shoulder crystal was cracked and chipped. Destoroyah was gone completely. Good. With the evil beast noticeably weakened, the Earth monsters moved in. Godzilla charged in, fighting and clawing at SpaceGodzilla. Gamora spun around, bringing his whip-like tail across Bagan's sightless face. Jeez, Gamora, hitting a blind guy? That's a low blow.
Yeah.
I want to win. I want to win.
I mean,
I want to win.
Yes, I mean, it's not like Red King who repeatedly kicked Titanosaurus in the groin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's expected from Red King, but Gamora? Jeez. Have some decency.
Yeah.
Fuck Gamora. Gamera flew in, his shell spinning rapidly, but a corona blast from SpaceGodzilla brought the giant turtle down. Anguirus ran in and leapt up, biting down on SpaceGodzilla's throat. A surge of galactic energy forced the spiked monster to let go. But this only allowed Gorosaurus to rear back and deliver a powerful kangaroo kick to the cosmic saurian, worsening the crack in his shoulder and causing a shard to fall off. Now, if this was MM's Gorosaurus, SpaceGodzilla would have exploded. Junior moved in and fired an atomic ray, but SpaceGodzilla reflected it with his shield, blasting the younger kaiju in the chest. Rodan flew in and attacked Bagan, pecking at the monster's face. Titanosaurus moved in, grabbing Bagan's horns and tugging on them. Red King ran in, tackling Titanosaurus and knocking him away, then slammed his fist into Bagan's chest and throat. Though blind, Bagan was far from defenseless. Rodan swerved away as he saw Bagon charging his plasma breath. The Red King took the blast in the dickhead,
Yes.
charring his flesh black and smashing him
Bagon's
to
still
the
alive?
ground.
I think so.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't. Spoilers. I don't think he dies until the end.
Okay, but hey, you wanna know something weird? Apparently, this
He
is the
didn't eat
same
Bagon's
Bagon
heart.
from Match 56.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently he borrowed good guy points from Anguirus to revive himself, so he owes Anguirus a favor.
It's also how Monster X came back through good guy Anguirus points.
Yep.
Yes, good guy Anguirus points, and Kamasugami inviting him to hell.
Yeah.
No. Monster X came back because Evan from the future told him to.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Z-Match 1... Is it
75.
164 that... 179?
75 was the MM match.
Okay.
No, the Gamera one.
The Gamera one.
Oh, the Gamera one.
Yeah, the
Oh, that
Gamera
was
one.
154.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 154.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that was... Okay.
Took a blast in the dickhead.
Oh, yeah. Smashing him to the ground, unconscious. Gamera and Goliath moved in, but a corona beam swirled around their feet and detonated the soil behind them, bringing them crashing down. What is this, Power Rangers? Manga and Kamakuras moved in on Gamera, preparing to take him down from behind. Oh my.
They're going to take him from behind, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to take Gamera from behind.
Yes, they're getting revenge on all those times he took them from behind. Because Gamera really likes missing in the wrong hole.
Yep. Kamanga began to spray his web, but as soon as the sticky strands came into contact with the Guardian shell, I don't like where this is going.
Is it Guardian or Custodian?
Yes. Gamera turned and launched a fireball that blew off one of Kamunga's legs. Chittering wildly in agony, Kamunga
Wait, you messed up. It's not chittering, it's chewing.
Chewing wildly in agony. Kamunga flipped over onto his back. Gamera unleashed another ball of fire, but this one exploded harmlessly against the dirt. Kamakuras having flown out the way in plenty of time, Monster X and Gigan stirred and awoke at the same time, groggily getting back on their legs. Mothra and Batra were quick to react, blasting the two with antennae rays.
Yes.
Antennae rays.
And prism beams. The two alien monsters turned to face the ancient moth, but only set them up for Rainbow Mothra, who swooped down from behind.
The Wonder Moth, the Bat Moth, and the Super Moth.
Yes.
Yes. So, does that mean that Wonder Woman is Superman's mom?
Apparently.
Who's... Oh... That would make Injustice really awkward.
Yeah.
Well, even more awkward than it was, but that only set them up for Rainbow Mothra, who swooped down from behind them and struck them with his wings, knocking the beast flat on their face. Says, star, 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 star. Manda hissed in rage as Ebirah's right pincer slammed against his skull. His left claw shut around the serpent's body. Manda grabbed at Ebirah's left pincer with his arms, trying to pull it away. Unable to do so, Manda whipped his head around and bit onto Ebirah's pointy crest. Biting down harder, Manda wrenched his head up and down, 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 up and down.
Is he
Ebirah
trying to
smacked
unscrew? Is he trying to unscrew a claw?
Yeah. Ebirah smacked. Well, does that mean that Manda's trying to screw Ebirah? Ebirah smacked Manda's head with his pincer again, but the snake only growled in response. With a sickening snap, Manda broke the crest off Ebirah's head. Quote-unquote head. Elicitating a shriek of agony from the crustacean. Reeling back as blue blood dripped... Wait, blue blood? What?
I'll have to look that one up. I think crabs and lobsters bleed blue.
Okay,
Huh.
That's weird.
Well, at least we could put this one in the education section.
Yes. Yeah, we still never found out what that the word was.
Okay.
That Obaki thing. What is that?
Oh yeah,
I still haven't
Obaki?
found it.
I'm pretty sure that's a freaking whatchamacallit. The Japanese spirit of sorts.
Okay.
But keep reading.
So apparently Bagon hates spirits because they escaped his heart.
Yes.
Reeling back as blue blood dripped from his crest Ebirah reached underneath the waves and plucked a boulder off the ocean floor. Pulling it up out from the water, he tossed it at Manda, bouncing it off the serpent's cranium. Manda growled angrily and moved into attack, coiling around the lobster once more. During the course of their battle, the two sea monsters soon realized that they were not the only creatures in the area. More beasts that rose up out of the water, waving past them. Even more flew by overhead, casting their shadows upon the serpent and crustacean.
The battle grew larger and larger and larger
And
and
larger.
larger and larger.
And larger. And
And
larger.
larger.
And the self-inflicted bullet hole in my head grew larger and larger.
As even more combatants
And larger.
as even more combatants joined the fray. The
Who were
alien
larger
heroes,
and larger and larger.
The alien heroes, Ultraman Zone Fighter flew in,
And Spectre Man.
Yeah.
landing next
And
to
Red Man. And Megaloman.
and Spectre Man.
And Dick Man.
But Red King's already here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got knocked out by Bagon, that's all. Anyway, landing
He
next
got hit in the dick.
landing next to each other
Repeatedly.
and striking battle stances. Gyaos shook the seawater out of his fur as he roared into the air. In a blur, MechaGeddon appeared, screeching as she flexed her pincers. The ancient knight, Atsuno Kusagami, appeared in a flash of light, ready to strike. Jet Jaguar landed, taking place near Ultraman Zone Fighter and somehow not being electrically disrupted by MechaGeddon. King Caesar growled, folding his ears upward as he reared his arms back. With a loud rumble, Gororin rolled onto the scene, somehow getting to the
Wow,
island.
Dakota. Kaiju X really hates you today because he's really
Yeah,
ignoring
of
you.
course.
Its yellow eyes narrowed. What was that?
He just wants to get rid of this suffering as fast as he can.
The soil burst as Megalon erupted from underground, clashing his jewels together. From the shattered remains of SpaceGodzilla's crystals rose Crystalac. I guess that's a thing now. Roaring as he slashed his claws through the air. The ground exploded again, spilling flames into the air as Kumasugami was born into the earth once more. Okay. Kiru, Super MechaGodzilla, and Mogera landed with a series of metallic thuds as their feet hit the earth. In a series of pink flashes, the final form of Hedorah appeared, the smog monster gurgling as he raised his arms. Golden spores fell from the heavens and into the soil, seeding it with Biolante's essence. From within the crater left by Kumasugami's arrival came Obsidius, smashing his rocky fists into his chest. You see, Obsidius is also an inhabitant of hell.
Is Obsidius
maintains
also
their
in
pool.
the sitcom?
He maintains their pool of lava.
Yes. In a blinding vortex of energy, Mecha-King Ghidorah, because Heisei Ghidorah was retired, appeared in the sky. The strange beast Wolgilgar opened and shut his pincers, having been sent by his alien masters to destroy Zone Fighter, but not Spyler for some reason.
Or any other Zone Fighter monster.
Well, it's only because Spyler sucks.
Cutting off his jets, Iris landed, waving his tentacles around. Pounding his chest, the thunderous roar of King Kong echoed across the island as he finally swam ashore to Monster Island. Oh boy. For a moment, nothing happened. No one made a move. And then there was...
That's because Minya had to go to the bathroom real quick. He resumed playing with his toys.
And then there was chaos. Hedorah fired a blob of sludge at Godzilla, striking the Monster King in the snout. Godzilla shrieked as the slime began to eat away at his flesh and unleashed an atomic blast at the smog monster. Lightning sparked over Hedorah's slime, and the pollution monster responded by firing jagged red bolts out of his eyes, exploding against Godzilla's feet and bringing him to the ground. Ultraman and Zone Fighter charged Bagon, but Monster X leapt in their way, clutching his bony fingers around their throats. But the skeletal demon could do so much damage. Before the skeletal demon could do much damage, the two humanoid defenders lashed out, kicking Monster X in the gut and driving him back. Crystal X slashed his crystalline claws across Obsidius' rocky chest, throwing sparks. The molten golem responded by raising his fist and slamming him to Crystal Axe's shoulders, knocking his counterpart flat to the ground. Counterpart? I guess that makes sense they're related. But no. Huh? Never mind. SpaceGodzilla fired his Corona beam into the air, striking Batra and Mothra. Rainbow Mothra hovered over Godzilla's doppelganger, firing his mineral chest beam down onto SpaceGodzilla's head. Facing Jet Jaguar, Kumasugami transformed his right hand to a sword and raised it high into the air. The demon brought it down, but the robot crossed his arms, catching the blade between them. Throwing himself backward, Jet Jaguar planted his feet into Kumasugami's gut, sending the creature flying through the air and crashing into his back. As the molten demon got back to his feet, he found himself face to face with King Kong. The mighty gorilla lunged forward, grabbing Kumasugami's face and doing his best to crush it, as King Kong King Kong has Minya in his other hand, trying to crush him too.
Yes.
Megalon stood next to Gigan and attacked Wolgilgar, smacking the Terror Beast with his drills. When Wolgilgar returned fire with his flamethrower breath, Gigan moved in, firing his cluster light ray at the Gorogan monster and causing him to jump back, despite the fact that Gorogan is technically an entirely different set of aliens from a scrap project, but whatever, I don't care, I'm going to keep going. Gigan attacked again, and again, and again, and again, slamming...
And again, and again, and again, and again.
I'm
Slamming
the only one sitting here realizing that Kaiju X is racist.
Slamming
I think
one-
we've already realized that.
slamming one of his sides into the bizarre creature's back and knocking him to the ground.
He
Yeah.
even made beams racist at one time, earlier in the match.
Oh.
Oh, gosh. Gamera and Goliath resumed their rivalry, pounding each other with their fists.
They're fisting each other?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They didn't have enough the last match, so they decided to go second round.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that match 65 was not enough to satisfy their needs. They needed another
I
go.
guess Goliath likes Gabra's bumpy ass.
Wait, do they have Minya between them as they're just electrocuting him?
Yeah. Kong tossed Minya to the side, and now Minya's between them, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to point that one out. Kong tossed aside Minya after trying to crush his head. Then now he's between Gamera and Goliath trying to fist each other. Anyway. Goliath sent a burst of lightning into the ogre and the runt Godzilla monster, but Gamera ignored the attack, grasping the blue monster's neck with his claws. Rodan flew by, knocking both electric ogres to the dirt, along with Minya.
See, this proves Gabra's an ogre, not a fucking toad.
Yeah. I think this was before we discovered that fact, so. Mecha-King Ghidorah fired a triple beam laser. Gosh, that one trips me up. Obliterating a boulder that had been sent sailing towards him by Red King. Jerk.
Oh, he's up again.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess after Bagon knocked him out, he's finally back up. Hooray! The bumpy beast
He
charged...
probably sensed that there was someone else alive.
Oh, right. The bumpy beast charged the futuristic cyborg, slamming his fist into MechaGodzilla. MechaGodzilla? What is that? What is that there?
Wait, what?
Anyway, MechaGodzilla.
MechaGodzilla.
MechaGodzilla's chest plate.
Was this like the mecha version of the Millennium Ghidorah?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the GU King Ghidorah, of course, MechaGodzilla. MechaGodzilla's chest plate and recoiling in pain, clutching his hand. A series of triple beam lasers and gravity bolts blasted Red King to the ground. Charging his sword with holy energies, Atsuno Ikusagami swung the blade at Megaheris, but the prehistoric insect was far too fast, easily avoiding the attack. She was instantly behind the warrior, smashing her claws down on his shoulders, but found that they were unable to inflict any lasting damage to his armor. Gororin fired his spines at Gorosaurus, Varan, and Bagon. Is this foreshadowing? Or did we already read that? I think that's foreshadowing.
I don't know, they're all the same. Fucking same.
Causing the beasts to shriek in pain as the needles embedded themselves into their skin. Roaring a challenge, King Caesar charged forward, ready to attack Gororin. Is that also foreshadowing? I didn't know. I didn't know, I swear. I'm not writing this or anything. Anyway. The cactus monster rolled towards him and leapt into the air, planning on stabbing into the feline beast with his spines, only to have King Caesar leap into the air and spin around, kicking Gororin hard and sending him sailing into SpaceGodzilla. Titanosaurus shrieked.
Who then died by the pure Nico's way.
Unfortunately.
Titanosaurus shrieked as Gyra sank his teeth into the reptile's arm, drawing blood. The long-necked beast swung his head down, slamming into Gyra's what?
He headbutt him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that he headbutt him, but into Gyra's what?
I think it's supposed to be
Into
like
Gyra's
Gyra's head.
I guess it
Yeah.
has to be the hand. Maybe. Yeah, slamming into Gyra's
It
and
was his
knocking him
hand.
back. I don't know.
Or his neck, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Quickly turning
He
around.
could be hitting in the crotch, you know.
Yeah,
You know how long Titanosaurus is. It's possible.
he has got a long neck.
Well, it would make more sense if this was the Monster Island Buddies Titanosaurus.
Quickly turning around, Titanosaurus began to flap his tail, battering the Gargantua with hurricane winds. Daigoro screamed as Kumonga began to cover him with webbing, tangling his arms together. Before the web could become too thick, Godzilla Jr. stepped up his game, blasting the spider with atomic ray and forcing him to pull back. Before Jr. could help free his friend from his... not his friend, but his sexual partner from his binds, Kamakuras landed on his back and began jabbing with his scythe-like claws. Daigoro reared his head back and spewed flames from his mouth, scorching the mantis's head and causing him to zoom off of Junior's back and disappeared. Pass.
Gamera crashed to the ground after Iris slammed into him, struggling to get back to his feet. Gamera ran up and swung his tail around, nailing Iris in the arrow-shaped face. This isn't gonna be a pushing contest. Not on Gamera's watch.
I want to win! I want to win!
The mutant Gyaos groaned angrily and responded by firing 2 sonic beams. The golden energy lanced through the underground monster's arm and neck, bringing him down with a cry of pain. Anguirus ran up and bit down hard on one of Iris's tentacles. But the ancient creature easily shook him free, whipping him across the face with one of his tentacles' spear-like tips gashing it open. Anguirus toppled to the ground, wailing in pain.
Nice.
Fully healed, Bagon made his way into the heart of the war zone, looking for his next opponent. His quest was answered for him when Mogera rolled forward, followed by Kiryu and Super MechaGodzilla on either side. Bagon stepped forward, ready to reduce the 3 mechs to scrap metal, but then they opened fire. Mega Busters, plasma grenades, eye lasers, Garuda cannons, paralyzer missiles, plasma laser cannons, chest masers, spiral grenade missiles, Type 90 maser cannons, and endless array of
made up
rockets
shit.
poured to Bagon. Holy shit! Flesh and flame bursting from his body as weapon after 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 weapon exploded against him. Dong screamed as Kunasagami plunged his molten blade into the great ape's dick. With a roar of fury, Dong snatched the sword in his hands and snapped it off, spilling lava from Kumasagami's stump. The demon shrieked as he backed away, turning his limb back into a hand. Dong pulled the curved blade out of his body, then turned it back to its wielder, plunging it into Kumasagami's rocky shoulder. The hellish beast roared in agony when a metallic knee smashed into his back. He turned and received a karate chop to the neck from Jet Jaguar. Dong grunted at the machine, grappling Kumasagami from behind, holding the demon still. Bracing the burning pain in his hands, Jet Jaguar slammed his fist into Kumasagami's stomach, but the demon raised his foot and planted it into the robot's gut, pushing it back. Wrenching his left arm from Kong's grasp, Kumasagami transformed his fingers into arrows and launched the fire projectiles at Jet Jaguar, exploding against his armor. Turning around, Kumasagami jammed the arrows into Kong's gut, letting them erupt against his skin. Dong howled as the weapons burnt his flesh, then smacked the back of his fist against the demon's face. Mecha-King Ghidorah's organic heads cackled as Gigan's cluster light ray exploded around them. Hey, don't you look familiar? The 3-headed cyborg returned fire with his gravity bolts, blasting the bird-like beast and showering him with sparks. The cyborg Ghidorah... The cyborg Ghidorah continued the assault with his triple beam laser, but Gigan crossed his sides in front of him, blocking the blast in a shower of sparks. Gigan lunged towards the armored Ghidorah, hugging the cyborg with his sides. Well, Gigan just wanted a hug. Yeah. as he activated his buzzsaw. Mecha-King Ghidorah cackled as Gigan's blade sliced into his chest plate, throwing even more sparks around. The future-born monster's cybernetic head spat out a triple beam laser, exploding against Gigan's face. The alien beast staggered back, shrieking in agony as his visor burned. Soon, the anger turned to rage, and Gigan attacked again. Holy shit, the edge. Raising his right arm and bringing it down on Mecha-King Ghidorah's left wing, the sight hacking through the solar plate paneling and crumbling off the upper tip of the wing. The Futurian cyborg's three heads turned, firing their energy bolts and knocking Gigan away. Stepping forward, Mecha Ghidorah slammed his mass into Gigan and shoved him to the ground. Red King pulled his fists back and slammed them into Daigoro's head, pummeling the young monster again and again and again and again and again and again and again. The tubby beast tried to fight back, but Red King was too fast and too vicious. Grabbing Daigoro's neck, Red King shoved the creature down and slammed his knee up into Daigoro's snout. Here. The orange monster cried out as Red King's knee struck his face, toppling over onto his back. Red King rubbed his hands together, ready to finish the little monster, when a surge of lightning burst into his back. Shrieking angrily, he turned around and found Goliath staring him down. The blue beast roared furiously. Daigoro was his to torment. It was almost as if Daigoro was completely useless. Red King held his hand out and gestured Goliath to come and get him. Raising his arms into the air, Goliath charged, his horn crackling with energy. The two monsters crashed together, fighting and clawing and slamming their fists into each other. Quote unquote, into each other. Yeah. Goliath blasted Red King with electricity, charring his dick. The bumpy monster reached up and grabbed Goliath's horn, tugging on it. The electric monster roared in a panic and unleashed a powerful surge of energy into Red King's hands, blasting them off his horn. Angrily, Red King spun around, slamming his tail into Goliath's face. The blue bully stumbled back, tripping over Daigoro.
So, Red King grabbed Goliath's horn and tugged on it,
Yeah.
Too easy, I know. Anyway.
Meanwhile, Alex is falling asleep.
While Alex was falling asleep, Hedora let out a gurgle of laughter as Atsuno
All the while, Hedor's jacking it.
as Atsuno brought his energized sword down, slicing harmlessly through Hedora's body. The ancient warrior pulled back, glaring at his weapon in surprise. The blade was smoking and starting to corrode. He looked back at the smog monster, who began to move towards him, returning his sword to whence it came. Aganami struck a battle pose, then rushed to the slimy beast, preparing to wrestle him to the ground. The The toxic terror was ready for him, however, and leapt into the air and landed on top of the Holy Knight, tackling him up to the ground. Atsuno clutched as strands of sludge dangling from Hidora's arms and body. But the creature was non-plussed. I'm just going to say it's that. He began to unleash torrents of vicious black slime onto the armored warrior. Smoke began to sizzle from the silver and gold plating as the slime coated Atsuno. Unable to get a good hold on the monster, the sun-like medallion on his forehead began to glow. A golden beam of light shot out, punching through the smog monster and searing his sludgy flesh. Hidora screamed as the holy energy burned through him, truly harming the slimy beast. Flailing his arms, he fell from Atsuno, writhing about on the ground. His armor was still smoking. Atsuno rose to his feet and brushed himself off. Warping the air itself with their supersonic speeds, Kamacuras and MechaGears were engaged. That's all you need to know.
That is a firework above the clouds.
In an epic sex amongst clouds. The prehistoric dragonfly snapped at Kamacuras' large compound eyes with her pincers, but the mutant mantis slapped his claw across her face. MechaGears tried to bring her deadly stinger into play, but her foe was too close to her body. Any attempts to use it would impale herself as well. The Meganula Queen shrieked in frustration as she and Kamacuras rocketed through the clouds, spinning around and around and around and around and around and around. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. As they tried to gain an advantage on the other, Kamacuras leaned in, sinking his tiny jaws into MechaGears' neck, electating a cry of pain from the purple creature. She didn't like that hickey. But MechaGears was not completely defenseless, stabbing the tip of her right pincer at Kamacuras' head over and 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 over. One of the jabs landed a successful hit, stabbing into one of the mantis' bulbous orange eyes. Screaming wildly, Kamacuras dislodged from MechaGears and, in a blur, was gone. Satisfied that she had driven the mantis away, MechaGears shrieked victoriously when she suddenly heard Kamacuras' familiar screech from behind and a huge weight land on her back. Well, Kamacuras didn't want to leave this marriage. Yeah. Suddenly, the mantis decloaked, becoming fully visible again. He slammed his scythe-like claws into MechaGears' wing, causing the insect queen to screech in pain. Gyoran's yellow eyes shifted back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and forth and back. The cactus orb found itself between two ancient guardians, Gamera and King Caesar. The titanic turtle stepped forward, but Gyoran responded by firing a wave of needles into his neck.
Wait, GVZ, HUX left.
What? He's gone?
Oh.
Oh gosh
I mean-
darn it!
The apps are working again.
That's great. I was about to say, wait a minute.
Blank Jordan. Because he's not allowed to win anymore. Apparently he's overpowered. I'll continue from that. Bjorn responded by firing a wave of needles into his neck, causing Gamera to stagger back and scream in pain. King Caesar roared and charged, forcing Bjorn to launch another series of spines at him as well.
So, is he
Holding
doing
his up.
acupuncture?
Yes.
Doing the free acupuncture?
Yep. Holding his arms up in front of his face, Caesar continued his charge, his tough stone-like skin deflecting most of the sharp projectiles. Again and 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 again. The plant launched its spines at the approaching deity, but they struck with little effect. Before Bjorn could react, King Caesar raised his foot and stomped it down onto the spear. Despite the pointy spines, the leonine beast seemed completely unaffected and continued to jam its foot on top of Bjorn, sending him down to the soil, planting him. Anyway, unable
Planting him?
Well played.
planting him.
Yes.
Unable to reach the spine stuck in his throat, Gamera shrieked angrily and launched a fireball. Already feeling the heat from the rapidly approaching ball of flame, Bjorn quickly rolled out of the way, allowing it to explode against the ground directly in front of King Caesar, knocking the golem up to the ground. The guardian of the custodian of the universe spat fireball after fireball after fireball after fireball after fireball after fireball at the fleeing Bjorn, each blast barely missing the plant monster.
That's a lot of
Rolling up
fireballs.
about-
Man.
It
Yeah,
is a lot of
his
fireballs.
accuracy, he really does have Bachelor's accuracy now, doesn't
Yeah.
Yep.
New headcanon, Gamera is a stormtrooper. Another new headcanon, Gamera is Finn, because he's a custodian. Gamera flung himself, rolling up a mountainside like a ramp. Bjorn flung himself at Gamera, ready to impale the reptile's face with his radical skating skills. And his spines too. But the turtle reacted quickly, nailing the evil orb with a plasma fireball. The blast sent him hurtling towards King Caesar, who, with another kick from his powerful legs, smashed him into the mountain, dazing the cactus creature. Pass.
Alright,
Oh. My
just-
turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. But first, I need to throw this out there. Let Alex do the voice acting for the dialogue.
Okay.
So, just throwing that out there. Continue.
Oh, okay. Elsewhere, the three mechanics continue to unload their firepower into the demonic super monster. No, not Hedorah, but unfortunately
Tom?
edgy Bagon. Yes, and Tom. While also smacking around Minya in their free time. Takuya Sasaki, the new captain of the MechaGodzilla crew, spoke up, not only to his co-pilots, but to the pilots of the other mechs as well.
All right
The
now.
world.
He announced over the radio to the world,
Let's ease up and see how much damage we've done. Understood.
Replied the newly revived ragdoll who died in that other match in Bulgaria.
Systems weapons down powered. Deactivating weapons.
Echoed Akane Yashiro within Kiryu, as she's the only one who actually survived. The various pilots hit buttons and flip switches, turning on their lights on and off, and their blinkers, and their, what's it called, other car mechanisms, and their windshield wipers on the eyes of their mechs.
Windshield wipers.
In an instant, MechaGodzilla, Kiryu, and Mogera ceased firing and lowered their arms, as they finally finished beating up Minya as he ran away somewhere. The grotesque remains of Bagon being eaten by Minya. The super monster's entire front half had been incinerated while his heart was being eaten by Bagon again.
Wow, if only they would have done that match in the Tom trilogy.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
They did.
Well,
Unfortunately.
they could have done it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exposing his... the super monster's entire front half had been incinerated, exposing his innards, which were
Even
being
his sensor
eaten by
bar?
Gyaos. Yes, his sensor bar was... he doesn't need a sensor bar, his whole top half is gone.
That's why I was asking if it was incinerated.
Yes. Which in turn had also been vaporized while by Bagon cooking it alive. Brain, lungs, stomach, even the beast's black immortal heart. All had
What about
been
his
eaten.
dick?
That's Minya's eating that. All had been eaten by the all had been eaten by Bagon, while the arsenal of the three mechanical marvels
DCs.
stood to the side. Now only the burnt out husk of Bagon's backside remained. Lifeless to the ground.
Oh my god, guys, we like did it. Oh my god. Let's go to the salon.
The also newly revived Lieutenant Kiyoshi Sato declared, grinning, "In the cockpit of Super MechaGodzilla, the mech's crew wasn't as celebratory," cried Susan, the blonde American pilot who has King Kong under her finger.
We're detecting Pokemon.
Wait, hold on, I gotta find out who.
What? What? What's that?
Takia asked in shock while also having a seizure. Indeed, what had been left of Bagon's corpse was beginning to be eaten away by the deadly chemical and by Destoroyah. As he had a knife and a fork in hand with a what's called a napkin around his neck.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the slain dragon was engulfed in a shockwave of energy and a puff of smoke as the final form of Destoroyah returned, having fully healed the wounds inflicted by the Mothras and Batra, so he could enjoy his meal of Bagon. Before any of the crews could react, Destoroyah reared back and spat his micro-oxygen beam for disrupting his meal. The purple bolt struck Super MechaGodzilla in the chest and managed to topple the mighty machine, knocking it onto its back. Gyra shrieked in pain as Crystalak stabbed his long crystalline claws into the gargantua's flesh in rapid succession. The pinkish white demon grinned evilly, pleased with himself as blood began to spill from Gyra's wounds, being a masochist. Was it masochist? Or is this... I don't know. I get those two confused. The green gargantua raised his arms in the air, howling in fury. Then
I think it's sadist. Sadist is
Yes.
the word you're looking for.
Yes. Okay. He tried to get his hands around Crystalak's throat, but the creature's beard of crystals made that an almost impossible task. Not quite impossible, but just impossible for Gyra only.
Yeah.
After another
Gyra
failed...
proof.
Yes, it's Gyra proof. Does that mean it's also Sanda proof? Or is it because
Oh,
he
here
his
comes
tree with
Gracia
it?
going, actually, it's Gara, even though it's Gyra, I just like to be an asshole.
After another failed attempt, Gyro simply pulled his fist back and let it fly into Crystalax's face, finally being angry enough to aim for the open part of him.
Yeah.
The crystal creature grinned again, having barely felt the blow. He flipped backwards, slamming his feet up into Gyro's chin, sending him staggering back while laughing like a maniac. Once back on his feet, Crystalax spun around, unleashing shards from his tail that flew through the air and exploded against Gyro as they made contact with his flesh. Furiously, Gyro began kicking up dirt and rocks and trees, complaining, and sending them sailing towards and bouncing off Crystalax. Not finding the attempts amusing, the pink creature inhaled deeply, then started screaming at Gyro to shut up and go away because he's useless, while feeling for his prison beam, nailing the green gargantua square in the chest, sending him crashing against the mountain.
No, don't you get it, Nagoda? Gyro's hunting Crystalac because he can harvest crystal meth from him.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yes.
right.
Gyro the drug dealer. Sending him crashing against the mountain while Sanda stood by and waved a fan at him, trying to cool him off and help his brother. Sparks flew as Megalon's drill slammed down onto Obsidius's rocky hide. The insect deity attacked again and 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 again, banging his metallic limbs against the lava golem over and over and over and over and over and over and over
and over and over and over and over and over and over and over
and over. And Organ. Growling angrily, Obsidius grabbed one of Megalon's drills in his left hand, then the beetle god's throat in his right, and then bit down on Minya's head with his face. Roaring intensely into Megalon's face while spitting Minya out, Obsidius began to squeeze down on his throat. The subterranean deity was quick to respond, however, his horn firing a bolt of lightning into Obsidius's permanently open mouth as he curved it and hit Minya in the face, instantly releasing his grip on Megalon's throat. Obsidius staggered back, clutching at his mouth. Megalon chittered happily, clamping his drills together to being a successful dentist, when Obsidius unleashed his infernal attack, throwing up on Megalon's face and upper torso with a torrent of molten lava. Megalon fell back, rolling around on the ground as the steaming liquid scorched his flesh while screaming about how the other monsters just threw up on him in the middle of a fight. Hold up. Okay. Suddenly, the ground began to shake and split open, tendrils rising up out of the soil. Obsidius watched as Violante pulled herself up out of the ground, shaking into the sky while having Minya on her head, cheering happily for once. She immediately focused on Minya, grabbed him with a tendril, and slammed him into the ground, and then started focusing on Obsidius, and charged, attacking him with her vines as well. With their sparing tips burst against the stone beast's skin. Violante lowered her head, biting her massive jaws onto Obsidius' shoulder, only for the molten monster to spew more lava onto her face. Violante released Obsidius and howled into the air as they both forgot about Megalon, as lava burned her face away. Satisfied with his attack, Obsidius wasn't expecting it when one of Megalon's drills clobbered him over the back of his head, knocking him to the ground, unconscious. Turning his attention to Violante, Megalon spat out a napalm sphere, soaring past her head and hitting. He then shot another one. The red ball got stuck in the mutant plant's body, just above her power core, and detonated, elicting another
Oh, you big baby. You're one of the most powerful kaijus ever.
How many times has that word been used in this match so far?
Eliciting?
A lot.
Nice.
Too
bit,
fucking
actually.
many.
One's a paragraph, let's just say that. Gigan swung his sides forward, slamming them against the necks of Ultraman and his own fighter, electrocuting another
Killing
hit of
them.
pride, and killing them. The twin heroes staggered and choked as the middle limb struck their throats, causing them to bleed to death. But they quickly recovered because of plot and went on the attack. On either side of the cyborg, the two raised their legs, kicking at Gigan's face, being angry and bullies at the same time. But the cyborg blocked the blows with his bladed arms, being smart. He brought his sights
Wait,
down.
Gigan's smart?
Who knows? It was probably just a command from his master.
Yeah.
He brought his sights down upon trying to cleave the humanoids in half. But they flipped out of the way, even though they were trying to kick him in the face, dodging the attack. Leaping into the air and landing behind the alien, Zone Fighter and Ultraman fused into one person because they are the same person, and grabbed a hold of Gigan's arms. Gigan's tail, I mean, tugging on it.
Quote-unquote tail.
Yes. Ultraman, meanwhile, knocked Gigan's arms out of the way while tugging on his tail, then landed an uppercut against the cyborg. Gigan fired his cluster light ray, exploding against Ultraman and Zone Fighter at the same time, knocking him to the ground. Gigan lashed with his paw and, at the end, latching onto Ultra Zone Man Fighter's throat. Gigan tossed Ultra Zone Man Fighter through the air, crashing down near himself. The hero rose up and prepared to strike, only to have Gigan hold out his arms and fire his capture cables. One set wrapped around Ultraman's neck. Wrapped around the fighter's neck, even though they're the same person. The two defenders clutched at their cables, trying to untangle them as they squeezed their throats. Gigan shrieked, pleased with their predicament, as he reeled them in, firing up his buzzsaw as he did so. And I missed a really good opportunity to say something up earlier. Closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer they got.
And closer 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 and closer.
And Alex is getting annoyed.
Gigan's rotating blade came even nearer. Finally, Ultraman held up his hand and tossed a cutting halo at the cyborg, missing horribly. The energy saw swerved like a
Manila.
Yeah, and cutting through Manila's tail. The energy saw swerved around after doing that, like a boomerang, thrusting not only through the capture cables, but Gigan's arms as well, because Ultraman is a mean person. He's angry. He knows war.
Wait,
Yes.
why did I type Kaiju X? I hate that guy. I was trying to type something else.
Who knows? Gigan shrieked as his sights fell to the ground with a clang, sliced off cleanly at the base, while Team Rocket flew away, blasting off again. As Gigan staggered backwards, shrieking in agony, Ultra Zone Man Fighter ripped the cables off around his neck. Ultraman crossed his hands. His Zone Fighter brought his to his head. Are you gonna read? It's dialogue, technically.
It's
technically dialogue.
Okay,
I suck, said Ultraman. Major proton beam, said Zone Fighter.
That works.
Yes. The twin blast flew through the air and struck the cyborg square in the chest, throwing sparks upon impact. Gigan squeaked like a rubber duck. Fell face first to the ground. In a brilliant ball of fire, the rubber ducky of the Star Hunter Nebula M was destroyed.
That was the sad
It's all
anime joke.
Yes. I lost my tortoise. Where did he go? How did he get stuck like that? He flipped himself over.
What the heck? Oh, wow.
since Nagoda is a
Junior-
turtle, does that mean he's starring in Gamera the Brave?
Maybe. Maybe.
Godzilla Jr. shrieked as Monster X's tail whipped across his face, knocking the son of Godzilla to the ground. And then he spun around and whipped Minya across the face too, making sure they hit both sons of Godzilla.
Yeah.
Daigoro flicks his arm, ready to come to his partner's defense.
Then he realized he's useless.
But then he realized he has to go lay an egg. So he
Yeah, he's
ran.
just the bottom.
Monster X turned just in time for Daigoro to begin his assault, slamming his fist into X's bony chest. Apparently, the Exilian Master is here too. The Exilian monster sneered in amusement as the young beast continued his futile attack on the small, human-sized person, alien guy. Pulling his arms up, Monster X backhanded Daigoro across the face, slightly hard.
Daigoro got bitch
Sending
slapped.
Yes. Let me reread this then. Pulling his arm up, Monster X bitch slapped Daigoro across the face, sending him stumbling back and crushing Manda under his fat weight. Better?
Much better.
The skeletal creature then lashed out with a spinning kick to guide Daigoro's gut, sending him rolling across the soil. Fortunately. Junior raised his head and fired a burst of his atomic ray, but the blast exploded harmlessly against X's chest, and then bounced off and hit Minion and knocked him away. Glowing with power, Monster X fired golden bolts of energy, detonating violently around Junior and Daigoro while they aimed towards Minya. Junior pulled himself up to his knees as Daigoro stumbled back to his feet. The hippopotamus reared his head back up, unleashing a sheet of flames from his mouth. The fire sparked against Monster X, causing him to growl in anger, as it did nothing against him, because he crashed in a meteor and destroyed a whole mountain range.
No, it's because Daigoro's useless.
Yes, that too. Charging Daigoro, Monster X once again bitch-slapped the young creature's face again and again.
Oh my god, I just got a great idea for the Shrek sequel.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
That's gonna be fun. Okay.
charging
Again
Daigoro.
and again. Yeah, charging Daigoro, Monster X bitch-slapped his the young creature's face again and again, bloodying and bruising it. Junior got to his feet and started towards the two, but he was too late to intervene with this abuse on his partner, before Monster X leapt up and kicked Daigoro in the neck. Hey look, guess he finally died, breaking it. And, I lost track. Where was that at? Yeah, okay, breaking it and sending his body crashing into the ground.
So, GBZ, what'd you think of my idea?
I love it.
Roaring furiously. Wait. Yeah, roaring furiously.
Also, it's almost like Daigoro's point in this match was nothing.
His point in this match was to be abused horribly by everyone
He's
else.
the meg of this match.
Yes. Junior unleashed roaring furiously, Junior unleashed a powerful blast of his atomic ray, striking Monster X in the chest, knocking him back. Monster X turned, glaring at the young Godzilla. He had something large smash into his chest, having Minya crying on him for killing his only friend, sending him hurtling through the air to the ground. Rising back to his feet, the skeletal kaiju found himself facing a very angry Gamera. I wonder why a Gamera would be angry. Wait,
Because a
never mind,
child
I know
was
why.
dead.
Yes, a child was killed. One that
Child
Gamera
was
hasn't
dead
gotten
and
to yet.
And it was Gamera. He was Gamera's to molest.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
As X
Oh,
got
careful,
back to
kids.
his
You don't want to step into Gamera's janitor closet.
feet, Gamera looked down at the slain body of Daigoro, sadness in his eyes that he wasn't allowed to do anything to him. The sadness was once again replaced by fury as Gamera returned his attention to Monster X for stealing his what's it called?
Damn you, Monster X! That was my child!
Monster X stumbled back as a trio of plasma fireballs exploded against his chest, sending fire everywhere, which Gamera then ate so he could recycle his fire. Because he's a custodian, he needs to recycle his fires. Before the alien monster knew it, Gamera was right in front of him, slamming his massive fist into Monster X's sternum. The black and white creature backhanded Gamera across the face, staggering the turtle. But when he tried to punch him square in the jaw, the Guardian opened his mouth and bit down on the hand, drawing black blood. Monster X squealed as he tried to pull his fist out of Gamera's mouth, but only succeeded in shredding his own bony flesh even worse. Suddenly, a burst of flame erupted from Gamera, and Monster X staggered back screaming, his hand having been incinerated. The same hand that he used to bitch slap Daigoro repeatedly. Gamera's eyes narrowed as he planned his next move, trying to get revenge for Monster X stealing his kill. He saw the flames that
Monster X stealing his fuck.
Yes. He saw the Monster X's arm and the fire burning on the ground. Holding out his right arm, Gamera called the flames to him. He watched as Gamera started firebending, as fire wrapped around his arms like snakes, forming a large, burning glove around his limb. Monster X backed away, knowing his end was near. Managed to turn around and kick Minya in the face one last time, knowing he would never be able to do it again. With a mighty heave, Gamera firebended his fiery fist into Monster X's chest. The skeletal beast screaming as the flames burned into his torso and his face, leaving a big red scar across it. In a massive explosion, the Exilian champion was just scattering bits of his bony armor across the battlefield for everyone to collect to make their own special Monster X armor.
Yay!
Yeah, Gamera just won a new armor for his avatar.
Yeah.
I wonder what.
When you say
person
armor, do you mean CONDOM?
Yes.
Yes.
Varan roared, surprisingly not dead yet, as he swooped down at Destoroyah's head, swatting at his face. The Precambrian horror screamed in anger as he tried to snatch the Obaki with his claws. And we still don't know what an Obaki is, but we're just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah.
But Varan managed to avoid each of his foes' attempts to grab him. Somehow. Again and 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 again
And again and again and again and again and again and again and again and again and again and Orga!
And an Orga. Varan slammed Destoroyah with his claws, secretly being Orga. Then followed up by swinging his head down and stabbing one of his horns into the micro monster's right eye. For some reason being stronger than all the other monsters that fought Destoroyah, actually doing damage for some odd reason. Destoroyah reared back. Yep.
And he's overpowered because people like him.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
And if you like the monster, that's all it takes for him to be good.
Yep.
Yes. Destoroyah reared back, crying in pain, and unleashed a powerful stream of his micro-oxygen beam, blasting Varan out of the sky, sending him crashing to the ground, stabbing Minya repeatedly with his spines. His skin smoking, Varan struggled to pull himself off of Minya before stabbing him again and again, when a powerful kick from Destoroyah sent him rolling across the dirt, because Destoroyah wanted to kill Minya. Varan crashed into something cold and metallic, and looked up to see Mogera. The mole-like mech targeted Destoroyah, and opened fire with its plasma laser cannons and chest laser, eliciting another cry from the beast, with the word elicting once again popping up this paragraph. Yes. Destoroyah returned fire with his micro-oxygen electing beam, throwing sparks that collided with Mogera's armor. But the machine held steady, having held a Destoroyah aggregate in its body once before. This time, its cone-shaped hands opened up. It started to absorb Destoroyah back into itself, trying to keep the Destoroyah aggregate trapped inside of himself again. Unleashing twin spiral grenade missiles instead. The revolving projectile smashed into Destoroyah hard, exploding with tremendous force, and blowing his chest open. Destoroyah roared furiously, and unleashed another blast of his purple ray. The beam struck Mogera in his still open left hand, just detonating the spiral grenade missile still inside, and blowing off Mogera's arm press the play.
Moguera.
Yeah.
Moguera.
Moguera.
Yeah, Moguera.
Can that be added to the KWC?
Yes.
Of course.
What?
As
Moguera.
Moguera stumbled back, Roran leapt towards Destoroyah, ready to rip the creature's face off. Seconds before he could strike, however, Destoroyah's head horn began emanating with a bright yellow glow. Swinging his head down quickly, Destoroyah sent a blade of energy through Varan's body, elicitating a cry of pain from the beast. The Triphibian lizard's eyes went wide as he felt himself be cleaved in two by Destoroyah's laser horn, accidentally taking the hit from Minya. Moguera's crew watched in horror as Minya was still alive, while the spice body of Varan fell to the ground at Destoroyah's feet.
Well, Nagoda, your question was answered about Baron dying.
Finally. With his remaining arm, Moguera lost another spiral grenade missile at Minya.
With its remaining arm, Moguera reached inside of it and grabbed Shinji.
Yes.
Oh crap! I broke my Moguera toy again. Dad's gonna kill me. Oh no!
He destroyed. Like, that's why everything exploded. He destroyed Godzilla's favorite toy. With its remaining arm, Moguera pulled out a Shinjo ragdoll to a giant size.
Smacked it across Destroyer's face.
Yeah, and smacked it across Destroyer's face, blowing a large chunk out of his right thigh, apparently.
His thick
Howling
right
in
thigh.
pain. Yes, out of Shinjo's right thigh. Howling in pain, Destoroyah unleashed his laser horn once again, slicing through Shinjo's upper torso, but leaving the ragdoll still alive. Moments later, the ragdoll's head, neck, right shoulder, and right arm slid off onto Moguera, while Moguera's neck, right shoulder, and right arm also fell off because the beam went through Shinjo because he's a ragdoll.
Yeah.
Marching up to the defeated Moguera, Destoroyah shoved the headless, armless mecha to the ground and began to devour the ragdoll named Shinjo.
Oh no, the crew from Godzilla vs. SpaceGodzilla. We all loved them so much, I can't believe they're dead. Oh no,
Yes.
What are we gonna do?
I especially love the ragdoll.
Yes.
He's
Pass.
the
I like
best
it.
character.
Okay. Dong crashed face first into the dirt, having been bludgeoned over the head by Goliath's powerful fist. Rising back to his feet, the mighty ape found himself surrounded on both sides, not only by Goliath, but Gamera as well, humping his fist against his chest. Goliath lunged for Goliath, but the blue monstrosity slammed his dick into Kong's face once again, sending him stumbling towards Gamera. The Emerald Ogre swung his head down, headbutting Kong in the mouth, while his dick with his horn dick, splitting Kong's lip and drawing blood. Kong roared into the
Wait, is Minya also in this abuse?
No, that's too graphic even for us.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't condone child molestation unless it's from Gamera.
Hey, right.
Dong roared in fury at Gamera, but before he attacked, Goliath's dick smashed into his back. As Dong staggered back and turned to face the beast, Gamera attacked from behind, sinking his claws into Dong's shoulders and unleashing torrents of electricity into the grill's flesh. This time, it vaporized him. This time, Gamera had no intention of seizing his attack, allowing Dong to use his enhanced strength against him. Nodding at Goliath, Gamera called him forward, letting him know to attack. Energy crackling from his horn, or his dick, the space beast sent bolts of lightning surging into Kong's chest. As Gamera continued to pour more and more electricity into the ape, Goliath blasted him again and again. Smoke began to rise from Dong's skin. Gamera crackled with glee. or cackled. I don't know, I'm getting retarded with my words. His plan was working. Between him and Goliath, there was too much energy for Dong to absorb. He finally had his revenge on the Big Ape. However, fate was not on Gabra's side before, and unfortunately, it wasn't this time. Either Dong's hands reached up and clutched Gabra's hand with a mighty fuck. Dong pulled Gabra clean off the ground and over his head, tossing him forward and sending him hurtling. God damn, this match is making me sick. Goliath, knocking both electric demons to the ground. As the two untangled from their lovemaking and got back to their feet, they realized in a panic that Dong was on top of them. Grabbing their dicks in his hand, the mighty gorilla smashed them together. Their impacting sticks let out a sickening crack. Two beasts were knocked out.
That can't be healthy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be doing that. Discarding them like the trash they were. Yeah, they were only $2 whores. Jesus Christ. Godzilla cried out as the corona beam swirled around his torso before finally exploding against his chest. He stumbled and fell to his knees before another jagged blast sent him crashing to the ground. Seeing Manda lying on the ground go, Daddy! Godzilla groaned in annoyance as he tried to get back up. His tired, sore, running low
Did
on
he smack
strength.
him across the head first?
Nah, he just ignored him. Battle these proportions was wearing him down. SpaceGodzilla bagged and destroyed the door monster because it was too much. Even the King of the Monsters had his limits. Godzilla's King of the Monsters didn't have his fucking limits, fucking retard. God damn, I'm grievous. But even as it strained him to stand, he refused to give in, narrowing his eyes and snarling at SpaceGodzilla. He got back to his feet, his torso fins flaring. He spat an atomic right, aimed directly at SpaceGodzilla's head. Mistake, the crystalline alien immediately brought his shield up, reflecting the radioactive blast, sending it back to explode against Godzilla's face. With a shriek, Godzilla was instantly... SpaceGodzilla roared and joined his earthen counterparts, blah blah blah, suffering. Fire another corona beam, letting it spark and explode against the soil.
Our suffering.
Yeah. That's the soil around Godzilla's fallen form. Before he could attack, he sensed two creatures heading towards him. Turned to face him and quickly spotted Angus and Rodan coming for him. Of course, they weren't coming to help him. They were running over to the apocalypse. Godzilla growled in frustration. Motherfuckers, they forgot me for the apocalypse. God damn it, this fucking bullshit. I want to go to the apocalypse, but no, I have to be in this fucking match instead. That's why he's getting tired, because he's not able to attend the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's great.
Rodan reached him first, blasting the alien beast with his uranium heat ray, obviously thinking SpaceGodzilla's. The purple blast sparked against SpaceGodzilla's flesh, allowing Rodan to get closer and closer and begin clawing at the monster's face with his talons. You guys are still there, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you guys got real quiet.
Yeah.
Unusually.
Apocalypse.
The space monster screamed as the two Earth Kaiju attacked him with their teeth and claws, but they were still no match for him. Sending a charge of alien energy through his skin, dislodged Angus, who quickly backed away, focusing his attention on Rodan. SpaceGodzilla unleashed a corona beam that exploded against the Pteranodon's wings and torso. Rodan sported away, putting plenty of distance between him and SpaceGodzilla as Angus flung himself backwards, smashing his shell into Space Demon's damaged shoulder crystal and breaking it apart. Shower sparks of crystal shards. To the people at the fantasy matches section go, "That's fucking bullshit, he wouldn't do that. Your monster are fucking weak. I said monster is always great. Fuck." Just fucking bullshit. Right now in fear, SpaceGodzilla scorched Angus with a corona blast, knocking the spiky quadruplet to the ground. Because SpaceGodzilla can make another move, Godzilla's atomic ray blasted into his side, catching him off guard. SpaceGodzilla turned just in time to have Godzilla rake his face with his claws and bite into his neck. Jitterbug! The manga chittered as he backed away, waving his...
Oh yeah.
Choo-choo! No, Dakota, you don't play that, you play a train.
Okay.
You play the Thomas the Tank Engine theme song.
Careful, that might get a copyright strike.
Waving his front two legs threatening, but War Gilgar paid no heed to the warning, opening and closing his pincers as he advanced on the massive spider. Kumonga had already tried to coat the Terror-Beast. Perfect defense against the arachnid's webbing. Screeching wildly, War Gilgar moved forward, ready to snap his pincers down on Kumonga's legs. The giant predator spat out a stinger that lodged itself into the alien's thigh. And looked down at the needle sticking out of his flesh. Reaching out and taking hold of its claws, the Terror-Beast plucked it out and nonchalantly snapped it in half. Zooming his fangs on the spider, Kumonga panicked as he realized poison has no effect on the bizarre beast's alien psychology, or physiology. Gilgar reached up and clamped his pincers down on Kumonga's extended front legs. The two grappled with each other. Felt like that for a little while, each trying to get the other to fall. Kumonga tried desperately to force his opponent down. He could only get the Terror-Beast to the ground, then he could cover him with his web. Unfortunately, victory was not on Kumonga's menu. Whereas the harder Gilgar pushed against him, the harder he also tried to close his pincers with a sickening, juicy crunch. Gilgar's claws shut down on Kumonga's legs, slicing off the ends and spilling yellow blood. Shrieking in pain, Kumonga backed away, finally made the feet, but Gilgar was not a merciful foe. He was hungry. He wanted spider for dinner. Throwing his arms open and opening his mandibles, the creature unleashed a searing torrent of flames that completely engulfed the spider. Kumonga tried to back away, but he was too badly burned. He wasn't the fastest of monsters, even when he was in perfect health. On and on, the fires came, roasting Kumonga alive. Noticing the spider stopped moving, Gilgar cut off his flames and watched Kumonga's corpse burn. The alien monster screeched victoriously, snapping his claws open and shut when he suddenly heard a high-pitched scream from behind. Before the Terror-Beast could turn and see what created the noise, MechaGears' anger burst from his chest. The prehistoric dragonfly had plunged it into his back. For a moment, Gilgar struggled trying to remove the shitty spike. He failed, however. His dick soon went limp. Withdrawing her stinger, MechaGears allowed Gilgar to fall to the ground, hovering down and stabbing into the alien's corpse once again. He began to drain him of his remaining fluids and energy. Kinky. And top 10 anime betrayals.
And MechaGears ate the roasted Kumonga.
Yes.
His drill hand whirling rapidly, Kiryu backhanded Megalon across the face with it. Sending the Ceetopian deity sprawling to the ground, missing parts of his mandibles and right eye. Then Ultraman yelled out, "I'll kill you," and murdered Megalon right in front of Kiryu.
I'll kill you!
Before the mechanical Godzilla could advance, the pain shriek of Gamera was heard. Kane swung Kiryu around just in time to see Destoroyah plunges head horn down into Gamera's plastron. Guardian tried to grab Destoroyah's head crest, but before he had the chance, the Precambrian monster stood upright, tossing Gamera clear overhead. With a thunderous crash, Gamera slammed onto his dick behind the evil beast. Stunned and bleeding, Gamera couldn't move as Destoroyah turned around and unleashed a blast of his micro-oxygen beam, sending flames and sparks exploding from the titanic tortoise. Just as Gamera began to stir, Destoroyah marched forward, planning on crushing the reptile's head underneath his massive foot. Determination, she would not let a fellow defender fall in battle. She should. No, she could do something about it. Let's go, Kiryu. Kiryu lunged forward, plunging his rapidly spinning drill into Destoroyah's gut. The Precambrian horror screamed in pain as Kiryu's drill spilled his yellow blood. Oh my god, this sucks. Mech using his jets.
No, it's so long, huh?
Yeah. Destoroyah far from the defenseless Gamera. Suddenly, a micro-oxygen blast escaped Destoroyah's mouth, scorching Kiryu's armor and knocking him away, dislodging his drill. Before Destoroyah could attack again, Kiryu swung around, slamming his tail into the beast's torso and sending him stumbling back. Kiryu opened fire with the twin Type 90 masers housed in his mouth and wrist-mounted laser cannons, blasting into Destoroyah's open torso. The crustacean of monstrosity, kill me, cried out as the weapons exploded against him, waiting for it to attack.
One such opening came, but it was not long enough for Destoroyah to take advantage of one of the Kyryu's spot shot off by a giant missile, smashing into Destoroyah's face and instantly falling monster and burst of fire as the pod detonated upon that impact. As Destoroyah struggled to get his massive form upright once again, Akane began flipping switches and hitting buttons with Kyryu's cockpit. Absolute zero standing by, she announced. Holding his arms out wide, Kiryu stood still as his chest plates opened, and energy began to crystallize as Kiryu's ultimate weapon is brought down to full power. Akane revealed the firing button and held her finger over it. At that moment, Destoroyah rose to his feet, turning to face the armor-plated machine. Absolute zero. Oh, whoops. Absolute zero. Pressing the button. Fire.
Like Batman.
Alright, I'm gonna pass. I'm getting tired.
That's fine. Almost done. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'll take over from here.
I need to talk.
Just as Destoroyah had turned all the way towards Kiryu, a sphere of blinding bluish-white energy shot out of the machine's torso. Destoroyah had no time to react as the chilling blast struck him directly in the chest, instantly freezing him solid. Akane smiled as she realized the Absolute Zero Cannon had successfully hit its target for once.
No.
She was about to have Kiryu raise his tail and shatter the Precambrian monstrosity when she suddenly heard a rapid whistling sound. She looked up in time to see the spinning shell of Gamera fly through the frozen Destoroyah, obliterating the beast in a burst of snow and ice.
And then Akane rage quit from the team deathmatch because Gamera stole her fucking kill.
That's good. Godzilla and Anguirus cried out as the latter, ensnared by Space Godzilla's Emerald Gravity Tornado, was sent careening into the former. Having raised another batch of crystals, Space Godzilla summoned more cosmic power from them into his one remaining shoulder crystal, blasting both Earth beasts with his Corona Beam, and hitting Minya in the process.
Yes, finally.
Godzilla and Anguirus groaned in pain as they struggled to return to their feet, while Minya was knocked out in a coma once again. Only to be shoved back down by another Corona Beam. Just as the Crystallian Terror prepared to finish them off, a mighty roar filled the sky, causing Space Godzilla to turn around to see what had challenged him. He thought it was Minya at first, but then he remembered he was knocked out, and he found himself facing the eighth wonder of the world. Roaring furiously,
Manila.
Dong humped his fist into his chest, sparks of electricity flying with each hit. Oh my! Rushing the alien beast, Dong attacked with a ferocity that took the intergalactic Godzilla by surprise. Dong's powerful fist smashed into Space Godzilla's chest, neck, and face, striking with Herculean force. Space Godzilla cried out as he was assaulted by not only the gorilla's hands, but his dick as well. But also the powerful surges of electricity emanating from them. Stumbling back, Space Godzilla fired a Corona Beam directly into Dong's dick. But the god of Pharaoh Island barely even felt the blast. Again, Space Godzilla fired, trying to do the dirty trick again. And again, Kong was oblivious to the bolt that seared and lacerated his dick. Dong reached out and latched one hand around Space Godzilla's throat, the other his dick. The giant gorilla squeezed as hard as he could, trying to crush what he had held.
Wait. What do you squeeze? Space Godzilla's neck or his dong?
No, his
both.
throat and his dick.
Both.
He's squeezing him as hard as he can. Space Godzilla tried to fight back, but it was no match for Kong's supercharged fury.
What happened, man? What happened?
Space Godzilla was shoved backwards by the ape, growling as he realized that he was aroused, and his throat and snout were charged from Kong's electric grip and his dick.
Jumpy Hunger Kong.
Yeah, his dick went limp. With his foe momentarily distracted, Kong grabbed one of the creature's energy crystals and wrenched it from the ground. Swinging it up, he uppercutted Space Godzilla with it, causing the space monster to stagger. Bringing it down on top of Space Godzilla's dick, the crystal exploded into fragments, only dazing the alien beast. Only. Reaching behind him, Kong ripped out another crystal out of the dirt. With his opponent's back turned, Space Godzilla fired another Corona beam, letting it travel up Kong's back until it hit the back of his skull. Kong's eyes narrowed. Turning around and raising his arms into the air, Kong quickly and forcefully brought them back down, plunging the energy crystal deep into Space Godzilla's heart. And his dick. It's just, the second crystal. The space monster's eyes went wide as he felt his nuts break apart. His shoulder and dorsal crystals flashed orange, then went dim. Crimson blood leaked from his mouth and his pelvis area as the beast looked stunned, unable to believe what had just happened. Godzilla and Anguirus watched in shock as Space Godzilla staggered, then toppled onto his back, finally slain. Dong stepped forward, looking down at Space Godzilla. Only slight, subtle movements were made. Satisfied that his foe would soon be dead, Dong smashed his fist against his chest, roaring victoriously.
Wait. Don't you mean Kong smashed his fist against his dick?
Yes, against his dick. He glanced momentarily at Godzilla, then ran back into battle, looking for a new opponent. Slowly, Godzilla...
This is such bullshit. Kong's a gorilla. He can't beat Space Godzilla.
Yeah.
He's a gorilla, so he sucks, and he's not Godzilla.
Slowly, Godzilla got to his feet, in utter shock, realizing that Kong stabbed Space Godzilla's dick. He marched over to Space Godzilla's prone form, looking down at it. He watched as golden cosmic energy poured out of Space Godzilla's torso, swirling around the crystal jutted out of his chest and dick as it went. The energy also circled around Godzilla, who began to feel strange the more he was exposed to it. Godzilla stood over Space Godzilla's corpse, watching the monster's power leave him. Anguirus shook his head and howled, calling Godzilla away from his slain doppelganger. It took a moment, but the Monster King finally responded, turning to join Anguirus and leaving Space Godzilla behind him. Godzilla roared, ready to face his next challenger. As if in preparation, his dorsal fins flashed blue, then red.
Any case, not too far away, Zilla began to stir from unconsciousness. The lizard woke up and rose to his feet. Having recovered enough from Destoroyah's earlier attack, he was ready for more action. Lowering his head, he ripped immediately into the battle zone, letting out his famous cry. He quickly came upon the demon Kumasagami, who caught sight of Zilla as well. The two creatures watched each other silently for a moment before leaping forward. Kumasagami grabbed Zilla by the throat and punched him in the snout, sending him staggering back. Zilla groaned, his flesh burnt by the demon's mere touch. As Zilla dealt with that revelation, Kumasagami transformed his right hand into an axe and swung it at the mutant iguana's head. If it weren't for Zilla, the reptile surely been decapitated. Running around to the moaning creature's backside, Zilla leapt onto his shoulders, knocking Kumasagami to the ground. Getting back to his feet in an instant, Kumasagami got rid of his axe and instead more bow and arrows because, close range. He quickly launched the flaming projectiles at Zilla. While most struck the ground, one struck into the lizard's leg. Zilla howled in pain as the arrows seared his flesh, reaching down and managing to dislodge it. Zilla dove behind a rather large boulder when Kumasagami fired another wave of arrows at him. As intelligent as he was fast, Zilla quickly came up with a plan and began to burrow into the ground. After a few moments of waiting for Zilla to emerge from behind the boulder, Kamasogami got bored and returned his hands to bladed form. His right the sword, his left the axe. Just as he prepared to hack the boulder to pieces, Zilla's head burst out of the soil behind him, calling out and getting the demon's attention. Kamasogami roared fiercely and took a step forward, swinging his weaponized hands around. But with a mighty roar of his own, Zilla unleashed his powerful atomic ray at the molten nightmare. The emerald blasted Kamasogami hard, sending him crashing into the boulder Zilla had used for cover. Upon hitting the rock, Kamasogami crashed onto his back on the ground. Climbing up and leaping onto the fallen demon, Zilla put his claws to Kamasogami's chest and began to dig. The lava monster screamed as Zilla started burrowing into his chest, sending his molten blood everywhere. Zilla ignored the unbelievable pain as the liquid scalded his hands, continuing to dig. Within moments, Kamasogami had stopped moving. Seconds later, Zilla's claws hit dirt. The mutant lizard had burrowed all the way through Kamasogami's torso. Backing away, Zilla roared victoriously, then whimpered as he started to feel the loss of his skin and most of his flesh on his hands. It was then that some movements caught his attention. Iris swatted two of his tentacles backwards, smacking Gamera and Utsuno Kusagami in the face, knocking both of them onto their backs. Spotting Godzilla, the mutant Gyaos raised his arm and fully extended its spear. Began moving towards the king of the monsters, ready to stab and drain him of his radioactive power. Unfortunately, Godzilla had no idea Iris was even there, let alone that he was about to meet Beast. Zilla knew he had to move fast. Charging at his top speed, he ran towards Godzilla, lowering his head and bracing himself. Within seconds, he had reached him and slammed his head into Godzilla's side, knocking the Monster King clean off his feet. Furiously, Godzilla raised his head to see who had attacked him, only to watch Zilla was skewered by Iris's spear, the appendage jutting all the way through the reptile's body. Quickly, the
Cue, great shot crying that Zilla's dead.
In the arms of an angel.
But also, thank God, Zilla was a piece of shit.
In this case, I'm not going to argue. Weakly, the mutant lizard cried out, then went limp. Iris looked down at Zilla's body in disappointment. In an instant, Zilla knew what had happened and pulled himself to his feet. He shoved hard against Iris with his hands, red energy crackling from his claws into Iris's chest plate, throwing sparks. Iris brought his tentacles up to retaliate, but Godzilla opened his mouth and fired his red spiral ray. Iris groaned as the crimson blast slammed into his chest, sending the involved Gyaos reeling back in a burst of flame and reducing his armor-plated chest to slag. Further and further Iris slid, Zilla's body sliding off his spear and falling to the ground, until Godzilla's ray delivered him back to the previous two foes. Iris looked on each side of him, finding himself tapped between Gamera and that guy. Iris flexed his tentacles, ready to retaliate, as Ikusogami summoned his sword with blue energy. But before Iris could attack, Gamera spun around and slammed his tail into the creature's spiked back, sending him stumbling towards Ikusogami. The ancient warrior acted quickly, slicing his sword up and down. Iris reared his head back, moaning in pain as all four of his tentacles hit the ground and wiggled around before becoming completely lifeless. As Iris writhed in pain, Ikusogami and Gamera stood side by side in front of the mutant Gyaos and opened fire. Ikusogami with his medallion ray, Gamera with the super oscillatory wave. The two powerful blasts slammed into the arrow-headed monster, busting through his armored torso. In a burst of flames, Iris was destroyed. Kaiju X pass, but I'll be back. So I'll you just like do two paragraphs, and I'll be right back.
He's running away from responsibility.
Anguirus honked in an attempt to warn Godzilla, but it was too late, as Crystalite leapt onto his back and began slashing away with his crystalline claws. Godzilla struggled, trying to dislodge the beast, but with no effect. Rodan swooped down and attacked to knock him away, but it only knocked away Minya instead. But Crystalite fired his prism beam, forcing the pterodactyl to swerve away. Roaring angrily, Godzilla's dorsal fins and eyes flashed red. Seconds later, a completely red nuclear pulse blasted Crystalite from Godzilla's back, sending him crashing to the ground. The pinkish-white monster got back to his feet and was about to pounce on Godzilla again, when he was blasted to the ground by a combination of the Mega Buster eye lasers and Garuda cannons.
Not so fast, buddy.
Takuya commented inside the cockpit of the Super MechaGodzilla.
Attacking Godzilla's our job.
As Crystallock got back to his feet, he was blown off of them once again as he was struck in the chest by both the Mega Buster and the Red Spiral Ray. His chest smoking. This time he attacked before they expected. He attacked before they expected, lifting his head and spewing his prism beam at them. The blast knocked Godzilla back, but MechaGodzilla just absorbed it, feeding its energy to the plasma grenade. A second prism beam and the weapon was fully charged. As Crystallock got back to his feet, the port in the plasma grenade opened up, a cannon extending. Not all that much, though. Crystallock spotted the emerging weapon, and though he had no idea what it was, it gave the crystalline creature an uneasy feeling. Spinning around, he unleashed a series of crystal shards from his tail. Not only did they stab into MechaGodzilla's armor, but also the plasma grenade cannon.
Fire the plasma grenade.
Takuya commanded.
Now. Can't we use beyond damages?
Came the reply. With nowhere else to go, the built-up energy within backfired. The plasma grenade cannon sparked, and then a moment later, the entire front of Super MechaGodzilla's torso exploded. The force of the blast sending both the mech and the Godzilla crashing to the ground. With his foes downed, Crystallock skittered away, Anguirus giving chase. A moment later, Godzilla stirred, pulling himself back to his feet. Shaking his head clear, he looked down at MechaGodzilla and saw the robot's entire chest had been blown open, revealing the machine's inner circuitry. It was then that Godzilla's eyes fell upon MechaGodzilla's nuclear power core. Its casing had been cracked, power leaking from within. The core was obviously unstable and was ready to go at any moment, but Godzilla didn't care about the unstable power cores. All he knew was that the heart of his mechanical double was leaking the same power he thrived on. And despite the alien power he had absorbed from SpaceGodzilla, he still hungered for more. After this battle royale wasn't showing any signs of stopping anytime soon. Godzilla bent down, extending his hands.
Wait, Kaiju X, stop reading. Kaiju X just left.
Dang it!
So, right now, this proves that Godzilla's fat. He's not bulky. He is fat.
He's
He has
not
to bend
bulky
down.
or fat, he's thick.
But he just admitted to still being hungry after eating Space Godzilla.
Part of SpaceGodzilla, but
Yes.
Godzilla bent down, turned over, and then Minya extended his hand out to clutch the nuclear power core and wrench it from MechaGodzilla's shattered chest. If this strange device could power a juggernaut such as the Super MechaGodzilla, then it will surely return Godzilla and Minya to full strength. As soon as Godzilla's and Minya's claws came into contact with it, the core exploded. The other monsters paused mid-battle as the entire island shook and a miniature mushroom cloud of fire burst into the sky. For a brief moment, it seemed as though the war might end right then and there, as they watched the flames rise and expand into the heavens. That hope died, however, as Gyra lunged forward and sank his fangs into Red King's arm.
His dick.
His dick. Spilling blood. Chaos erupted on Monster Island once again. Kiryu swiped at Crystallock with his drill. Groran spines bounced harmlessly off of Ikusagami's armor. Obsidian spewed liquid magma at Zone Fight. Mothra and Batra swooped down to attack Goliath. mecha-king Ghidorah unleashed his Godzilla capture cables at Ebirah, only for the smog monster to corrode and destroy them. Mothra and Leo engaged Mechagearus amongst the clouds.
It's good to know that. It's good to know that Mechagearus is a whore.
She's cheating
Yes.
on Kamakurus.
It's also good to know that Godzilla capture cables won't work on Hedorah because they only work for Godzilla. Godzilla capture cables. What were they thinking?
Gorosaurus stumbled back as Kamakurus sliced him with his claws. Gamera attacked Titanosaurus with his electrical energies. The other heroic monsters did what they could to provide backup to their fellow warriors. Mothra shrieked and swerved away as Goliath leapt up, plunging his horn into her thorax. The wound wasn't too severe, but she needed to momentarily pull back and recuperate. Oh my. With Mothra down, Batra dove in, ready to attack. Seconds before Batra could reach him, Goliath unleashed a burst of lightning from his horn, scorching one of the insect's wings. His limb too burnt to use any further, the black Mothra plummeted from the sky. Not too shortly thereafter, however, he was engulfed in a sizzling vortex of energy. Instead of his imago form crashing into the dirt, Batra landed feet first, somehow, in his larval form. Cackling angrily, Batra unleashed prism bolt after prism bolt from his horn and eyes, blasting Goliath across the face and torso. Advancing on the blue monster, Batra slammed his head down, striking Goliath with it and zapping him with a charge of prism energy, knocking the bully to the ground. Titanosaurus cried out as Titanosaurus cried out as Gamera's electric bolts coursed through his body. But with a quick headbutt, the aquatic reptile sent the ogre stumbling backward. With a quick leap,
Titanosaurus really likes headbutts.
Yeah.
He really likes headbutting people.
With a quick leap, Titanosaurus tackled Gamera to the ground and began smacking his powerful hands on either side of Gamera's head. The green, bumpy beast managed to pull his feet up and kick Titanosaurus hard in the chest, sending the undersea dinosaur rolling across the ground. The two creatures got to their feet at almost the exact same time and growled at each other. Titanosaurus acted first, opening his tail and immediately stirring up powerful winds to batter Gamera with. The ogre roared in defiance as he tried to keep his footing. Gamera's attempts were for naught, as Rodan flew by, striking the Nightmare Ogre in the head and slamming him to the dirt.
Me-12 missile Mate, I am a terrorist.
Don't worry, guys. I got called in from this part. Around zone bracelets lined with miniature weapons. Pointing his right hand. Excited.
Boo, you stink!
Pointing his right hand outward, Zone Fighter unleashed a torrent of missiles at the golem. Obsidian shrieked as the projectiles exploded against his rough hide, throwing chunks of rock everywhere. Holding his arms up, Obsidian managed to block most of the blast and curled himself up into a large boulder. Taken by surprise, Zone Fighter had no chance to react before Obsidian rolled forth and slammed into him, instantly knocking him to the ground. The blue and silver hero managed to rise to his feet and aim both of his hands at the rolling Obsidian, firing more missiles at him. But this time, they harmlessly exploded against the roaming boulder. Obsidian crashed into Zone Fighter's legs once again, sending him crashing to the dirt. This time, Obsidian unfurled himself and stood up at his full height to face the downed warrior. Before Zone Fighter could get back to his feet, Obsidian spewed lava onto the hero, causing him to cry out in pain. Suddenly, a red spiral ray washed over the crowd, blasting everyone with fire and sparks as it exploded all around them. Reeling back from the attack, the monsters all turned and looked up to see what had attacked them. Collectively, they gasped.
Hang on a second. Let me take over for a little. Just a little bit. I need to wrap something up here.
Oh, okay.
His body pulsing with power and racked in agony. Burning Godzilla's roar echoed across the island, as did Super Burning Manila alongside him. Waves of nuclear energy were escaping his body in all directions, incinerating Super Burning Manila as he is permanently dead for the rest of the match. Pass.
What the hell did I miss?
Click in the chat. You will see what you missed.
Okay. Rearing back and charging his fins, Godzilla unleashed a spiral blast at Obsidian and Zone Fighter. The humanoid hero backflipped out of the way with style, but the Molten Beast took the beam square in the chest, knocking him flat on his back. An involuntary shockwave burst from Godzilla's body, blasting even more of the creatures. Enemy and ally were hit alike. It didn't matter to Godzilla who he struck. He was going out of his mind from pain, and the power level was off the charts. Over 9,000? Even Bagon would be hard-pressed to stop him now. Boy, I wish they would have done that, in, Bagon versus everyone. But, plot hole. Shrieking a challenge,
Also,
Gamera
Tom
raised...
sucks.
Shrieking a challenge, Gamera raised his arms into the air and charged Godzilla.
Gyra!
As I said, Gamera raised his arms in the air and charged Godzilla. It's caught a dialect.
Gyra.
The Green Gargantua quickly felt the intense heat emanating from the creature as he got nearer, giving him pause. This was a mistake, as Godzilla quickly slammed his fist into Gamera's chest, punching through the Gargantua's torso and scorching everything within it touched. Godzilla withdrew his hand, then fired his spiral ray, blasting off the entire top of Gyra's body. Gyra is flaming over half. Gyra crashed to the ground.
Hold on. How many of you think it's Gyra? How many?
I think it's Gyra.
Yeah, I pronounce it Gyra.
Gyra.
Gray Shot's in the wrong.
Hey, you know what I gotta say?
You suck.
No, I got. Wait. Damn it, that's a different name. I was gonna pull up the Top versus Gyra death battle, but that's a different name. But I'm just gonna keep using it because.
Gyra.
Any case.
Gyra.
Well, he's dead now, so we shouldn't have to worry about it.
Obsidious attacked next, using his Gyra Inferno attack. Gyra Godzilla with lava. But next to Gyra's body, overraging Gyra temperature. Gyra Godzilla barely even felt the liquid Gyra magma. Gyra turning around and blasting Gyra Obsidious off his Gyra feet.
Gyra.
Okay, I'm done. Before the lava golem could even get back to his feet, Godzilla looked down, his glowing eyes narrowing. With a burst of runaway radiation,
Hey guys, watch Gray Shot pronounce Obsidious as Obsidious.
Boo. Godzilla fired a spiral blast directly into Obsidious's permanently open mouth, splattering molten lava everywhere as his head exploded into a massive ball of fire, along with a sizable chunk of his chest. Boy, that seems kind of familiar to something. I don't know. Kamakura zoomed by, trying to take Godzilla by surprise as he sliced at him with his claws, only for the king of the monsters to snatch the insect's arms, scorching and crushing them. Before the Mantis could begin to defend himself. Yes, I know how to say sand in Nagoda.
Yes.
Before the Mantis could begin to defend himself, Godzilla fired a powerful beam, detonating Kamakura's skull. Hearing a familiar cry behind him, Godzilla turned just in time to have Red King slam one of his fiery fists into his chest. Taken by surprise, Godzilla staggered backwards, shrieking in rage and pain. As his dorsal fins unleashed a burst of energy, he fired forth a spiral ray that blasted completely through Red King's torso, leaving a gaping hole in his chest.
You mean gaping asshole?
As the bumpy reptile gurgled out of a death cry and began to fall, Godzilla unleashed another blast that completely destroyed the creature. Roaring a challenge, Goliath advanced on Godzilla, swinging his fists around threateningly. The blue beast unleashed a powerful burst of lightning from his horn, sparking and exploding against Godzilla's chest. Roaring angrily, Godzilla fired a blast aimed at Goliath's head. The spiral ray skimmed over Goliath's skull, completely vaporizing his horn. Shrieking wildly and clutching at his head, the space monster toppled to the ground, unmoving. Another spiral ray flame, and Goliath was gone.
Hey, look, it's the only way that people know how to write Goliath's death.
Yeah, very original.
Yeah. Destroy his horn and then kill him. Oh, so original.
Yeah.
It's been done
give me 1 second, guys. Exit troubles. Can you guys, wait 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Quick, someone start reading.
Shut up. Garoran rolled into attack, letting his thorns fly through the air, only for them to catch fire and dissipate as they came into contact with Godzilla's flesh. The Monster King turned to face the plant monster, just as the rolling orb leapt up towards Godzilla's chest. His dorsal fins flaring, Godzilla unleashed a powerful spiral blast, striking the cactus beast and sending him slamming into a nearby hillside. After a moment, Godzilla ceased firing. letting the charred, lifeless Gororan crash to the ground. MechaGears moved in from behind, slowly and quietly, preparing to jam her stinger into Godzilla's back. Indeed, Godzilla had no idea the Meganula Queen was there, and it seemed that her plan was about to succeed, until a wave of nuclear energy burst from Godzilla's dorsal fins, completely incinerating MechaGears.
You know what? I'm going to comment real quick. That was kind of neat. I kind of like that death.
Yeah.
You know what I gotta say?
than
Godzilla
Goliath.
just became the one-punch man, apparently, of the Godzilla verse, because basically he looks at them and they die. He doesn't even look at them.
Yeah,
and
of
they
course,
die.
of course.
Look at them.
Also, to go back to that paragraph, I kind of like how they worded Kamacurus's death, detonating Kamacurus's skull. That's a good way to phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, detonating someone's skull is not a bad way to phrase it, but I don't think Kamacurus would really have that much of a skull, being a mantis, but...
As it would be an exoskeleton.
And I don't.
Well, geez, Kaiju X wrote everything good about my life.
Yes.
I'm just making note. A better statement would have been Godzilla unleashed atomic fury, vaporizing the skull, the exoskeleton of Kamacurus in an instant.
No. No.
You know what would have been better? If Kamacurus dodged it and ate Godzilla's head off.
Ew. In any case, witnessing Godzilla's unparalleled power, Gamera, Hedorah, and Crystalac backed away, not wanting to be atomized alongside their fellow evil kaiju.
And those three then went to the local bar.
Okay, hold on. Back up now. Hedorah and Crystalac, completely understand. Gamera, evil? He's kind of just a dick. Like, let's be honest now. He basically, he picks on kids. You know.
Grisha, I think he sexually attacks kids like Gamera does.
Yeah, don't
That's
you
why
remember
he's
Gamera?
evil.
Gamera.
I mean, he might as well be evil. He came from Godzilla's revenge.
Yeah.
Gamera, he takes kids to his van, touches like no other can. Please don't tell on Gamera.
Did you get that?
That was very good.
Yes, I did. But anyways, back to the match at hand. It was then that Godzilla turned his atomic fury onto his allies. A spiral blasted Anguirus to the ground. A scorching body slam knocked Gorosaurus into a mountain. Okay, hold
what
on.
happened?
Wait.
How do you
Those
body
buttons
slam
are-
someone up?
Wait, what?
Because
A scorching
Got destroyed
body
in the beginning of
slam.
the match.
Heck, I think Monster X destroyed most of the mountains at the beginning of this match, so I'm surprised.
All the
there's some
mountains
left.
in the beginning. Like unless Bagon dug a hole and made a new mountain.
Maybe.
I'm just imagining Godzilla flexes his chest and a shockwave rips out and Gorosaurus gets hit and sent flying back.
Oh.
Again, what?
I can only imagine Godzilla doing like a belly strike. Like, he lunges his belly out as Gorosaurus just comes towards him. He just flings him into a mountainside.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda style, like. Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Another Crimson Blast sent Rodan spiraling out of the sky. Bagon decided to vacate the premise to a safer locale and began to burrow into the ground, but was unfortunately obliterated when Godzilla unleashed a powerful blast into his backside, atomizing
my
the
ass.
subterranean beast with a burst of fire.
hey, he's not really dead. He's an actor.
To be fair though, guys, I don't think he deserves the loss. He barely was in this match.
I think he did more here than he was in match 56.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, at least he didn't eat a heart this time.
Yeah. Objective.
I'm still
I mean,
saying
he
we need to
remembers
remove
eating a
that
heart,
loss.
Ultraman and Zone Fighter looked at Godzilla, then to each other. Despite the fact that the King of the Monsters was their ally, that he was not in his right, not allow him to run rampant like this. They had to do something to subdue the glowing monster. The two heroes
Wait,
rushed.
Ultraman's not his ally though. Zone Fighter is, but not Ultraman.
Touche. I
Ultraman
guess they're both
sucks.
good, quote unquote, and they did fight together against Bagan.
Bagon.
Bagan, yes.
Bagon.
The two monsters,
I mean-
the two heroes rushed in and grabbed Godzilla's arms, trying to hold him still. But the burning beast was having none of it, twisting his body back and forth and shaking them off. They crashed to the ground, but were quickly back on their feet, ready for Godzilla's next move. He fired a spiral ray at them, knocking them back in a ball of fire. The two humanoids quickly brought their hands up, firing their finishing beam attacks. Sparks and flame erupted from Godzilla's chest as the Specium beam and Meteor Proton beam slammed into his chest. But his advance remained unchanged. He returned fire with another red blast, but this time Zone Fighter reacted quickly, generating a hyper barrier to reflect the attack. And I just want to make note. Somewhere Birdman is losing his goddamn mind by the name.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
The spiral ray bounced off the shield, striking Godzilla in the stomach and knocking him back. His eyes burning with rage, Godzilla charged. As soon as the barrier was within reach, he began swinging his fists, easily breaking through the shield and slamming his clawed hands into Ultraman and Zone Fighter's chests, knocking them onto their backs. Godzilla suddenly felt a tugging on his tail and turned his head around, discovering that Jet Jaguar had grabbed a hold of it. The heroic machine pulled with every ounce of his strength, trying to get Godzilla away from his fellow defenders. Godzilla flexed his tail, trying to shake Jet Jaguar off, but the android's grip was too strong, and he refused to let go. For a moment, their game of tug-of-war continued, until Jet Jaguar went flying back, crashing onto the ground. The robot was confused. He hadn't let go of Godzilla's tail, but when he raised his arms to look at his hands, he found what was wrong with horror. The heat emanating from Godzilla had melted his arms off all the way to his elbows. Hearing an angry growl, Jet Jaguar looked up just in time for Godzilla to destroy the robot with another spiral ray.
And Grayshot is crying again.
I'm not crying, I'm just making note. These are completely unoriginal deaths for a plethora of monsters. I'm just making notes. A lot of spiral heat rays, not a lot of creative uses of the attack.
Hey, Grayshot. None of us care.
It's still more original than Goliath's death.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, this is the saddest anime betrayal.
I also want to make note, if these two actually wanted to stop Godzilla, you think the subduing mist would be a little bit better? The meteor shower or whatever?
And Ultraman's water thing.
Exactly. Get a fire hose and a fire extinguisher.
You mean his urine?
Oh my god. Zone Fighter could have his mist, Ultraman with the water, and Jet Jaguar with the nitrogen blast. They could have knocked him out. They could have done it.
Kiryu's still around.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
But remember, this was before Jet Jaguar got the liquid nitrogen breath, though. So.
Hey, listen.
What about his firefighter gear?
We're using false facts, okay? Fake news. We're using that right
news. Here. Gotcha. Alternative facts. Gotcha.
Exactly.
But I thought Grayshot was fake news.
Yeah, Grayshot is.
I mean, he's supporting the terrorist Zone Fighter, after all.
I hate you all. Any case, an earthly wail caught Godzilla's attention as the ground began to shake. The Monster King began to turn when several tendrils ensnared and bit into his arms, leg, and neck. But the instant they did so, they caught fire and were immediately reduced to ashes. Godzilla turned just in time to see Biollante reach him, shrieking wildly as she watched her vines burn away. As Biollante reacted to her vine's death, Godzilla reared back and unleashed a spiral blast that sheared off one of her large root-like limbs in a burst of fire. Crying out in pain, Biollante sent a series of spear-tipped tendrils at Godzilla. 3 stabbed into his legs and 2 into his arms, but they were instantly incinerated by the intense heat radiating from him. The wounds they inflicted already healed. Godzilla fired another Crimson Ray, burning a large chunk of the plant monster's shoulder area, but Biollante already started to regenerate the damage. As Godzilla advanced, lightning traveled up Biollante's body from her power sac to her throat. Opening her massive maw, she spewed forth of highly acidic sap, coating Godzilla's face and torso. Normally, Godzilla would have screamed in pain as the corrosive green liquid sizzled and ate away at his flesh, but now the sap was nothing compared to the burning agony that pulsated through his entire body. Oh, the edge! Letting out a cry of rage, Godzilla fired another atomic blast, exploding against the ground near Biolante's stomach. The floral beast cried out as flames washed over her core, burning her plant-like form. Lunging forward, Biollante opened her jaws wide, taking Godzilla by surprise. With surprising force, Biollante snapped her jaws shut, sinking her many teeth down into Godzilla's face. Godzilla's shriek was muffled as Biollante began to shake her head back and forth, again and again and again, digging her fangs in deeper.
And Orga.
Exactly. And Orga. Biollante ignored the searing pain growing in her mouth as she tried to worsen the attack. Then suddenly a wave of atomic energy burst from Godzilla's body, blasting into Biollante's. The Godzilla clone reeled back, wailing in agony as the nuclear energy burned through her. With Biollante howling in pain, Godzilla opened his jaws and fired off a spiral ray that traveled directly into her crocodilian mouth and down her throat. The entire backside of Biollante's torso erupted into a ball of fire.
Ass.
And with a gurgled whimper, Biollante collapsed to the ground. The mighty plant was not dead, but she was in no condition to continue the fight. Godzilla screamed as prison bullets blasted into his side. Turning around, Godzilla swept his ray over the area.
That's how a lot of people sounded when they were first reading this.
Wait, what?
It was a sound of people getting excited when they were first reading this. I'm pretty sure that's what they sounded like.
Oh, probably.
Nope. No, nope, never. Fake news.
Pretty sure I was eating warm cookies and a warm glass of milk while sucking his thumb.
Don't forget, Alex has all dialogue pieces, so.
And I get the last few indentations, regardless.
Yep.
2 out of the 3. Listen.
He's the exception, not the rule.
2 out of the 3 things you said may have been true, but I will allow the transfer of power shortly. Turning around, Godzilla swept his ray over the area. Finally, the armored caterpillar crackled as the beam exploded against him. Then waddled towards Godzilla. Waddled.
Waddle.
Towards Godzilla,
Waddle.
firing more jagged bolts from his horn and eyes. Godzilla narrowed his eyes and fired a spiral blast, exploding against the waddling Batra's torso.
I wonder if he's still worried about his ducks.
Like, no, not them. They're part of my prize collection. The larva reeled back, but refused to give away, firing more and more energy from his eyes. Rainbow Mothra flew overhead, nailing Godzilla on the head with his mineral chest beam. Oh my. Godzilla shrieked and looked up, ready to blast the multicolored moth. When gravity bolts and triple lasers blasted into his back, Godzilla turned around and found himself facing mecha-king Ghidorah.
Also,
within the future...
more alternative facts, mecha-king Ghidorah could have used his ice spray.
Yeah, that might have helped.
Yes.
Within the futuristic cyborg's cockpit, Emi Kano got...
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Wait, what? Okay, go.
Alright, brother.
He said.
Let's move it, brother. Emmy, be careful. I am running on Windows 98. This isn't a wise thing to do.
Came the voice of her android companion.
Godzilla's current he and powerful I may for mecha-king blue screen of death. Ghidorah. Don't worry, brother.
She snapped.
I know that.
Mecha-king Ghidorah assaulted Godzilla with more and more energy blasts, driving him back. Batra joined in, adding his prison bolts to the fray. The combined blast actually managed to topple Godzilla, knocking him over onto his back. As Batra continued to attack Godzilla with his lightning blast, Emi began to activate Mecha-king Ghidorah's ultimate weapon. Hey, brother.
I didn't know you were reading that fast. Emi, what are you doing? Doing?
M11 demanded.
Capable have been Godzilla will surely destroy us. The machine hand in his current condition. You shut your whore mouth. I know what I'm doing, brother.
Emi snapped again, shutting off the radio. Just as Godzilla got back to his feet. I'm sorry.
She
Hulk
must
Hogan
not like the
brought...
soundtrack. She must really hate that soundtrack that's playing
No, wait.
right now.
Someone needs to play I Am a Real American while Hulk Hogan's flying that MKG attacking Godzilla.
Yeah.
Emi brought the machine hand to full power. The port of Mecha-king Ghidorah's the cyborg prepared to unleash it. Roaring furiously, Godzilla turned to attack, barely even feeling Batra's blasts. It was then that the machine hand erupted from Mecha-king Ghidorah's chest, speeding towards Godzilla. But seconds before the weapon could strike, Hulk Hogan closed the clamp. Godzilla cried out as the machine hand punched into his torso, breaking nearly all of his ribs and sending him hurtling back. Godzilla wreathed about on the ground in agony as Mecha-king Ghidorah recalled the machine hand, though its port was kept open. Emi had a feeling she'd need to redeploy the weapon again. Rolling over so he could face Mecha-king Ghidorah, Godzilla lifted his head and fired a red spiral ray that burst through the cyborg's right solar panel wing. Ghidorah, stumbled back as another blast obliterated the top half of the same wing. Godzilla got to his feet and marched towards the cyborg. Emi quickly launched the machine hand again, once again closing the clamp. But Godzilla expected the strategy this time. quickly grabbing Batra by the tusks. Oh god. He tossed the armored larva in the way of the giant clamp. With a sickening crack, large chunks of Batra's shell were shattered, and the black moth was slammed to the ground. As Emmy gasped in horror, Godzilla fired his... Yeah, sorry. As Hulk Hogan gasped in horror, Godzilla fired his ray, trailing it from the head of the machine hand down to the weapons base in mecha-king Ghidorah's chest, reducing the mighty weapon to molten slag. Another blast blew a huge hole in the cyborg's left wing. As Hulk Hogan panicked, trying to get mecha-king Ghidorah to escape, Godzilla reached down and grabbed a hold of the weakened Batra's tail. With a mighty heave, Godzilla swung Batra around and slammed him into mecha-king Ghidorah, sending both crippled creatures crashing to the ground. Godzilla reared back and unleashed another powerful red beam, destroying both Batra and mecha-king Ghidorah in a brilliant burst of fire as he
All the while, Hulk Hogan managed to eject himself out of the robot.
Yes.
Screaming,
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
I like how he's singing it sadly as he's watching everything burning in fire. He's just like, hey, I still gotta sing it. I'm contractually obligated, but this is kind of depressing.
Yeah, he's busy crying that his machine was destroyed next to the Rock, who was beating up Ebirah earlier.
Godzilla watched the two monsters burn as three more stepped up behind him. He turned to see who had approached. Gamera and Godzilla narrowed their eyes at the Monster King.
Gamera and Gamora.
Gamera and Gamora narrowed their eyes at the Monster King. I'm sorry, guys. I've been reading reports all day. Itsuno Ukusagami flexed his arms, holding them down at his sides. They attacked together. And with that, guys, I actually gotta go. So pass and best of luck with the rest.
Gotcha.
Wow, he's ditching
Oh, we gotta suffer
responsibility
again.
All right. Yeah,
I went through as much as I could.
Yeah, you definitely carried your load, dude. So, all right. So it'll
Awesome.
just be.
Best of luck.
All right. See ya. It'll just be me and Alex mostly. I'll try and finish up everything to it explodes.
Well, looks like it's...
Okay.
Well, if Nagoda wants to read some, let him.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll read probably...
Well, it looks like we're back to the main three of this season.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can just read this long paragraph and just pass it.
That works.
Okay. Got open fired with his spiral beam, not the red spiral beam. Gamera and Gamora darted out of the way, and Ikusagami instantly brought up his energy shield, blocking the deadly blast. The shield instantly shattered the moment Godzilla's ray hit it, but Ikusagami, having summoned his golden bladed wings, the holy warrior leapt into the sky. Gamora slammed his fist into Godzilla's chest, crying like a crybaby as he was trying to drive him back. Godzilla was about to dinosaur when he ducked down and swung his tail into him, knocking him back further and crying even more. Gamera launched a plasma fireball at him. Godzilla roared as the spear detonated against his chest, his dorsal fins letting out waves of nuclear energy as they melted. Energy into a spiral blast, blowing chunks from the shell covering Gamera's shoulder as it knocked him onto his back. As the custodian of the universe struggled to get back up, Gamera unleashed his super oscillatory wave, blasting Godzilla in the throat with it. With Godzilla near him, firing his golden ray. The two energies exploded against Godzilla. Rainbow Mothra flew in, firing multicolored blasts from his head, chest, and wings, covering Godzilla's body with explosions. But they did. He fired a spiral blast at the insect deity, but the super moth managed to avoid the blast. He was not so lucky the second time, for them to the ground, his right wing having been ignited. Godzilla marched toward the downed Rainbow Mothra, but Ikusagami held his hand out, summoning his sword to him in a burst of bluish energy, even though it was kind of destroyed earlier in the match. He rushed forward and brought the blade down, slicing through Godzilla's torso. Normally, the damage would have been severe as it cut through his second brain as well. But with Godzilla's powers in overload, So were his regenerative abilities, and apparently he can now regenerate his brain in burning mode. Even though it should be melting down into nothingness right now. The wound inflicted by Ikusagami's sword was gone, as soon as the blade left Godzilla's body. His eyes burning with fury, Godzilla unleashed a powerful, radioactive blast from his mouth, exploding against Ikusagami and sending him back, skidding across the land. The ancient knight collapsed to his knees, his chest plate scores completely black, as Godzilla prepared to exterminate the mighty warrior. Mary Sue Crybaby's super oscillatory wave smashed into his back. Swinging around at surprising speed, Godzilla was about to vaporize Gamera when his legs were struck by Rainbow Mothra's cross-heat rainbow lasers. Turning his attention to the still grounded Moth, Godzilla didn't see as Ikusagami generated an energy spear in his hand and stabbed him in the back. The Monster King howled as the weapon flashed, even though his flesh is already melting off. As Godzilla screamed in pain, Gamera's flying, spinning shell slammed into him, knocking him flat. Flapping his wings, Rainbow Mothra took to the air once again. Pass, because I'm tired of this suffering.
Godzilla's body was glowing brighter by the minute. The pulses of energy his body's releasing were becoming more and more frequent. Everyone present knew that Godzilla had to be stopped, and now, before he overloaded completely and exploded, King Kong and King Caesar began to move in, ready to join their fellow defenders, when they were suddenly stopped by
And fight them with their dicks and their Little Caesar's pizza.
Yep.
When they were suddenly stopped by a cry from behind them. The two kings turned to see who it was. Godzilla Jr. stepped forward. Despite how much it pained him, the son of Godzilla also knew what had to be done. Ignoring the waves of radiation bursting from his doomed father, he marched up to him, to the anxiousness of everyone present. As Godzilla prepared to unleash a blast onto his former allies, Junior let out a cry, getting his father's attention. Godzilla turned to face the younger creature, his dorsal fins flaring, light emanating from his mouth as he prepared to unleash his spiral ray. But as his eyes fell upon Junior, something resonated within Godzilla's pain-addled mind. Realizing whom he was looking at, Godzilla closed his mouth, letting his ray die away. Junior cried out at Godzilla, trying to get him to stop attacking their friends and fellow defenders of Earth. As hard as Godzilla tried to focus on Junior, it was becoming increasingly difficult due to the combination of the insufferable pain that we're suffering through right now, racking his body, as well as the blinding light coming from the same. But as bad as it was, Junior called out to his father, trying to keep him focused. Within Kiryu's cockpit, Akane realized what Junior was doing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I only read when there's a quotation mark, but whatever.
I guess this is missing some. So
You're keeping him.
keeping him still. She gasped.
Give me a chance to stop it.
Akane looked down at the energy gauge. Just enough power for one final shot remained. She quickly entered the necessary sequence of buttons and switches.
I'm back and I see.
Absolute Zero standing by.
As Kiryu's chest opened and the Absolute Zero cannon was brought to full power, Junior did his best to keep Godzilla's attention on him. None of the other monsters dared to interfere.
Absolute Zero fire.
But just as Akane's finger pressed the button, Destiny intervened. Megalon.
Do you believe in... She got pure Nikos.
Hang on a second. Alright, it's no one important, so... just the phone. Destiny intervened. Megalon, still alive, despite missing half of his face, leapt in and plunged his right drill deep into Kiryu's back. The rotating drill burst out of Kiryu's open chest, striking the Absolute Zero cannon and gashing it apart. The weapon ruined, the freezing sphere malfunctioned and instead burst out in all directions, instantly freezing Megalon and Kiryu together, turning him to one massive block of ice. The momentum...
Shit.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate it when a giant beetle with drill arms kills your weapon?
Yep. The momentum.
I also hate it when my neighbor has it and they throw it in my backyard.
The momentum for Megalon's sudden attack tipped the two over with a massive crash. Kiryu and Megalon reduced to billions of shards of shattered ice. The other monsters watched as Kiryu was destroyed, and with him,
Quick, throw the ice cubes at Godzilla.
and with him, their last hope of stopping Godzilla, who was bathing them all with his frightening red glow. It was then that what could only be described as pure and utter panic began to overtake the minds of everyone present, looking cowardly for fleeing a fight, stopping heroic or villainous kaiju from accomplishing their goals. None of these mattered to anyone anymore. All that mattered now was the most basic of all instincts:
Survival.
However, something else was happening. The ashes of super burning Manila began to rise up, reform, and take shape. As
Gamera withdrew into his shell and began to spin, speeding off into the sky. Coward. Mothra and Rainbow Mothra flapped their wings as fast as they could and headed off in the same direction, Rodan close behind him. The two terrorists raised their arms and blasted into the air. Hedorah transformed into his flying stage and flew off, leaving a trail of sulfuric acid mist behind him. Crybaby threw himself on the ground and he wasn't the most powerful. Everyone else fled the area, hurriedly trying to reach the island shore. Only Godzilla Jr. remained, refusing to leave his father. Brighter and brighter Godzilla became until the runaway nuclear power within finally became too much, even his mighty girth to contain. Godzilla exploded. The king of monsters was instantly torn asunder by the blast, which rapidly expanded to destroy everything it touched. Its first victim was Godzilla Jr., the son of Godzilla, was burned away completely, down to his bones nanoseconds before they were atomized as well. Next were Dong and King Little Caesar, which their dicks and King Little and their pizzas weren't powerful enough. Blasting entirely vaporizing the two mighty gods. Anguirus, Gorsaurus, and Titanosaurus quickly followed, but good guy Anguirus managed to respawn and managed to avoid the blast. Ikusagami's powerful armor resisted the shockwave for only a mere second before being swallowed by the blast. Crystalak were next. Violante finally stirred. Stirring out unconsciousness was the last to be destroyed, but they were not the only victims of the explosion. As it was eaten away downward, the Monster Island scale itself caught up with Gamera, who was still crying like a little bitch, and even when he was absorbed by it, his ashes were crying. On the shores of the isle were Ebirah and Manda, who were snuggling with each other on the beach. They glared at each other, daring the other to resume their quote-unquote battle. They looked up and saw the initial explosion and quickly jumped in the sea, sensing danger, but it was not enough. As the blast hit the water, they were quickly boiled alive, seconds before the shockwave vaporized both monsters in the water they were in. Hey, a small little island could have fed off those monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not waste it. Monsters in the air soared at their top speed. Fast they flew. The ungodly burst of energy was too much for them to escape. Gamera, Rodan, Mothra, Ultraman's own fire, Rainbow Mothra, and Hedorah, one by one, they were engulfed by the shockwaves and annihilated. Since Hedorah was the last one to die, shouldn't he be the one who's the winner?
Yep.
The damage was catastrophic. The entire world felt the explosion's effects. Monster Island was gone, but most of the Pacific Ocean has taken with it. Even in death, Godzilla proved why he was a king. Draw. Good guy Anguirus, bitchy stepsister, lobster or shrimp, nobody fucking knows. Ogre, the custodian, Gayzilla Jr., Mary Sue, Crybaby Gamora. Look what happened! That's one big pile of shit. King Little Caesar, Dong, King of the Dicks, some shitty video game character. A snake no one knows the gender of, the stiff version of Mothra. The one cool, only one thought, hunger. Whichever Ultraman it is, something someone would cosplay as. The Peacelander terrorist.
Ultraman again.
And we are done.
And the only thing that remained, the only thing that remained was the skeleton of Super Burning Manila,
which slowly regenerated until Bagon ate his heart.
Oh, here's what happened. While Minion was playing with all of his toys, the house burned down and all the toys got burnt out.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And Godzilla smacked him upside the head.
Holy crap. So, with all that read, well, let's see. My personal thought is, I think we can easily say, whether you liked it or not, this is easily one of the most ambitious
This was way
KWC
better than the
matches.
Tom trilogy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's true. It's like take match 48, was it? And amplify that tenfold or even 20-fold. Because, boy, there was a lot going on. But honestly, I think like to and fro, it was rather entertaining for what it gave. It's like, it gives you exactly what you're looking for. A whole bunch of monsters fighting a whole other bunch of monsters. And although it does contain, like, honestly, I do have nitpicks, like how did Bagon, like, resurrect himself for being transformed into Bagon and whatnot. Or even some of the, like, I
Good guy
understand.
points.
Fair enough. I mean, I understand not all KWCs need to be grounded by continuity, but I will admit, it's like, okay, I get the idea that this is a loose continuation of the Tom trilogy, but it is just like, so you're telling me Monster X lived, or you're telling me Bagon resurrected himself.
Yeah, with that, it's like, why, if it is the same character, then either explain it or don't make it the same as in the Tom trilogy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like,
I'd say just ignore the Tom trilogy, have it be its own thing.
Absolutely. I kind of agree with that. This technically didn't really need to be continued off the Tom trilogy. Like, Bagon's strength as he was depicted here, I think is reasonable. I think it's completely reasonable as he was as strong as he was. So.
Yeah.
But,
I'm just glad he died early.
Right. That was kind of the interesting part, that he died early on. And by the mechas of all things. That was actually kind of cool.
And Destoroyah.
Oh, yeah, and Destoroyah. Yeah, and Destoroyah. Yeah. But still, it was just like...
And Gigan.
Right. But
Gigan ate him.
Oh. But it did ultimately seem like especially the first part, like the first segment, seemed to be like a weird sort of like a homage to past KWCs before everything goes to hell when everyone starts gathering around. Like, did you ever get that vibe where it seemed like, oh, I'm referencing other KWC matches that are technically part of this continuity / recreating fights of past KWCs? Anyone get that vibe?
Kinda.
Oh.
Not really, but kinda.
I might be the only one, but yeah. Overall, this match was true. I mean, we definitely we make fun of it because that's kind of our thing. It's our niche.
Oh yeah, I forgot the only survivor was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's right.
And The Rock.
That means mecha-king should have won because Hulk Hogan survived.
Yeah.
But all jagged around aside, though, this is, even though there are matches far longer than this at this point, I do feel like this is still one of the most ambitious KWCs. If only because this is probably the first and maybe only time we've ever had this many monsters in one match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally like it was chaotic, but in a way I kind of got what I expected, and I did like the little moment with Junior and Godzilla, like at the very end, just trying to stop him. Then all hope is lost when Megalon just destroys Kiryu like a moron. So I did kind of dig that. And then like everyone being just complete, and finally seeing the explosion come into play. That was kind of cool. So
yeah, that was really cool.
Right. So, Joe, did you have any additional thoughts?
Length aside, I feel like this match still does hold up. It is a good match, but there are a few issues like the continuity, and a few monsters kind of felt useless, like Baron or especially Daigoro, because they don't really do much. And Daigoro's only purpose in this match was to get the shit beat out of him. He was the Meg of this match.
That's great.
Other than that, I do still think that this is a great match. Though it is, though I also do think that it's missing a few monsters. Like I think certain monsters like Orga or maybe Spyler should have been in here.
Or an actual King Ghidorah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Grand King Ghidorah should have been in here.
Should have.
Alright, Nagoda, any thoughts? Nagoda? He muted himself.
He's speechless.
That'll do. Alex, give your thoughts in the meantime until Nagoda gets back.
I can tell you what a lot of people's thoughts were when they were first reading this.
Yeah.
But they were Titanosaurus.
Nagoda, what are your thoughts?
This is a long match. Good. It makes me wonder just how long it's gonna take to read the matches.
Oh, God.
I know.
We'll get
164 is going to take a fucking week.
Yep.
Or a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
If Grayshot reads it with us, he's probably won't shut up about all the facts. He's going to tell us what working on it.
He's probably gonna be adding onto it while he's reading it. So, like, how many monsters are actually in this match?
49.
Too many to count.
Yeah.
I believe it's 49 monsters.
I think there are 2.
Also, fun fact, this is the first banner we've had which required 2 people.
Yeah, I recall the background was one person and then the monsters was the other.
I believe if I remember hearing this correctly, Jackson worked on the background, like, you know, the layers of trees and whatnot, while Stephanie worked on all the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do believe that's
banner.
Wait. Kaiju X, stop talking. Kaiju X just left.
Nice try. But yeah, first, and I think to my knowledge, only co-op banner so far.
I guess here's my thought. It holds up. It's pretty good. It's one. It's not terrible. It's pretty.
I'll still say 88 is still the best match of the Tom and Christian era.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, 88 still might be the best, but 100 holds up decently.
Yeah.
I will admit there are points I'll nitpick, like certain terminologies like MechaGodzilla and whatnot. It's like, huh? It's just, I understand you want to break up the make it a little bit more varied, but MechaGodzilla just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I don't know.
You mean
Verandied?
Verandied.
Also, speaking of the banner still looks great.
pick up that shit! Pick up that fucking shit!
What the heck? Oh my goodness. The banner for this one is insane. At least in terms of monster counts, like you can't blame anyone for not adding a whole lot of like special effects, like any beams and whatnot, because you'd be lost. I mean, there's enough going on here as it is.
How about a giant middle finger for the banner?
Yeah.
But yeah,
That should be everyone versus everyone round 2.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say this. I hear there's actually a better version of this match. It's called Thy Lord Shrek versus everyone.
versus
versus a lot of monsters.
Yeah.
I think I've heard about that. I think we actually read that. So.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was actually
Yeah,
pretty
it was
good.
incredible. It was the best work of literature of all time.
Ever since Shakespeare.
It exceeds Shakespeare.
Shakespeare cried while reading this.
And I don't think Goliath died by getting his horn removed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think I know how Goliath died.
I'm pretty sure Gunhead shot him.
Yeah, I think Gunhead shot him.
Yeah. But spoilers.
Yeah, I think Gunhead tripped him and shot him.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, this is
still...
overall a very lengthy, but still a decent match overall. Not perfect by any means. If you're looking for some kind of high tier standard, if you're looking for something of a higher standard match, 88 probably would be your fix. But as a very fun, this is essentially what the KWC I feel like can ultimately represent. And in that sense, I think it still holds up nicely.
Actually, I'm Gracia. I think 164 is what the KWC represents.
And with that said, this is the conclusion to Season 6. And we will see you guys next time for Season 7, which
We won't be reading any more KWCs for a while. Which I'm conflicted on.
Save us.
Yeah, we're going to do something a little different for Season 7, see how that plays out. Just to break up the monotony and just have fun. So, until then, we will see you guys at Season 7.
Yes, Season 7.
Oh.